After 2 straight weeks on the road. Dana Holgorsen hopes his explosive offense can live up to its reputation, but even for a team averaging 39 points, that might be a tall order facing a Louisville defense that leads the league, giving up a mere 16 points a game. It's Louisville and West Virginia, a battle of number ones. The number one offense against the number one defense on this week's Big East Game of the Week. Next. Welcome to the Big East Network Game of the Week presented by PNC. This afternoon we're inside Milan Puskar Stadium in Morgantown, West Virginia, home of the Mountaineers. And today they entertain the Louisville Cardinals. Both teams coming in at 2-1 in Big East play. Preston Brown only practiced once last week, but he showed up against Syracuse last Saturday. 7 tackles for the sophomore linebacker, a couple of sacks. He was named the Big East Defensive Player of the Week. Meanwhile, West Virginia scored 41 in some adverse weather conditions at Rutgers. Sean Alston rumbled for 110 yards and a couple of touchdowns, including a 52-yarder in about 5 or 6 inches of snow. Hi, everybody. Along with John Kajemi, the former Pitt quarterback, I'm Mike Gleason. As always, great to have you with us. And JC, we got a classic battle of offense against defense, the kind of game you want to hang around to see which one prevails.
It's all about pressure today, Mike, because the Mountaineers love to spread the offense out and pressure you that way. Defensively, Louisville loves to attack the pocket. They'll do it from up the middle. They'll do it from the edge. And Geno Smith, the key for him today, there's going to be 5 or 6 plays, 5 or 6 opportunities where he'll have a chance to either go like this for 6 points or it may go the other way. That'll be the key to the game.
And we'll have more on the West Virginia Mountaineers and the Louisville Cardinals in a couple of minutes. But right now, let's get you up to speed with the rest of the Big East. Now, John Marinato, the commissioner of the Big East Conference, says it hasn't been official yet as far as invitations going out, but all indications are they're getting closer to inviting boys. Well, West Virginia, they've won the toss, so Geno Smith will be at the controls first as we head back downstairs and check in with Eamon.
Which Teddy Bridgewater getting more and more comfortable every week. What's going to be the key to knocking them out of rhythm?
Well, you got to contain them. As a whole team, we got to put pressure on him from the beginning, just like we got to put pressure on Louisville from the beginning. But don't forget, it's a 4-quarter game.
You mentioned pressure. That's the key word you faced against Syracuse. How much pressure are you facing from Louisville, and what adjustments do you make?
I hope we get a bunch of pressure. I encourage them to bring it every time because I think that we've had a couple of good weeks of practice on being able to deal with it.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time. Mike?
All right, thanks, Eamon. And John, is that why they did not defer? They want to test that Louisville defense early?
I think so. I think if you're West Virginia, you're scoring a lot of points. You're doing a good job, close to 39 points a game. That's second in the Big East. They want to control the clock. They want to control points on the scoreboard because Louisville hasn't been able to score offensively over 20 points.
Chris Philpott, the senior from Atlanta, all set to kick this game off, and we are underway. Starks and Austin, the deep man. This will be Starks at the 7. Starks weaves his way through traffic. Here he goes, 40. Brad Starks all the way down near the 30-yard line. Philpott finally pushes him out of bounds, and it's interesting, John. Back in August, he wasn't even part of the equation as he climbed out of Dana Holgorsen's doghouse, and now he returns the kick.
61 yards. It's unbelievable. Brad Starks, he only plays probably a handful of football plays on the offense and special teams, but he ends up making big plays. This is a guy that, as you said, Mike, in the doghouse. That doghouse has its room for 4, but it's only Brad in it right now.
So Starks put him in the game. He either scores a touchdown or returns one 61 yards. So here come the Mountaineers now. Lindemood and Garrison in the backfield along with Geno Smith. Austin in motion. Garrison gets the call. He's down to the 25-yard line. He picks up 5 on the very first play. So Geno Smith, 63%, 20 touchdowns, just 5 picks.
Geno Smith is in total control of this offense. 5th nationally in passing yards per game at close to 340 yards. This is a guy that's in control.
Little razzle-dazzle, looking for Garrison, the running back coming out of the backfield. Overshoots his man. Garrison with 18 receptions on the year. Let's take a look now at today's Bank of America starting lineups. West Virginia offensively. Pick your poison there. You see Tavon Austin, 56 catches. Bailey has 7 touchdowns. And up front, Barclay is a senior, Rader's a senior, and Jeff Braun with 6 knockdown blocks each of the last 2 weeks.
And this is a pressure down, Mike, 3rd and medium.
4 wideouts for Geno Smith. He's going for the home run ball. Austin! Touchdown! 25 yards, the 4th touchdown for Tavon Austin. Quick start for the Mountaineers.
Pressure brings pressure, and that's exactly what happened. We talked about it at the open. It was going to be West Virginia spreading the football out against the pressure that Louisville can bring. This is a great job by Tavon Austin of keeping that route to the outside away from the free safety. Calvin Pryor couldn't get out of the middle of the football field, and that's a good job by Geno Smith of retreating, inviting the pressure, and then attacking it with his right arm.
Tyler Bittenkirk drills it through for the extra point, and just like that, after the 61-yard return, the Mountaineers are on the board. Just 3 plays, 30 yards, only 49 seconds.
Geno Smith does a great job of finding the pressure and really executing 3 plays, 30 yards, all set up by Brad Starks, being able to move the football down the field. But here's the key right here. The route's going to stay straight up the seam, and that's not going to allow the free safety to come over. The pressure comes from the middle. Geno Smith picks it up. The linemen do a great job. The backs are in the right position, but that ball is thrown away from the free safety where only Tavon Austin can go up and get it.
Nice job of adjusting to the football, too. Austin, he's had a reception of at least 20 yards in 8 of 9 games this year. This one goes 25. The way he was adjusting to that ball, John, I wasn't sure if the sun would be a problem, but obviously not.
He did a great job of being an athlete at that wide receiver position, Mike, and I thought that the Mountaineers offensively, the offensive line picked up that blitz very neatly for Geno Smith to scan and deliver.
This one's going to be taken at the 1-yard line. Victor Anderson with the return. He's up over the 25, and he's wrestled down at about just shy of the 26. 26-yard return as we go back and take another look at Tavon Austin.
It's just a good job of adjusting to this football, as you said, Mike, by Tavon Austin. The ball's thrown over his outside shoulder, his left shoulder, but he's able to track the football, and Geno Smith put a lot of air under that, so Tavon had plenty of time to track it, get it, and concentrate getting 1 foot in the end zone.
We've had 12 straight games now with at least 1 touchdown pass for Geno Smith, 21 on the year. He had 24 last year. Here comes the young freshman now, Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback. Dominique Brown, the sophomore, goes out and split to the top of your screen. Empty backfield now for Teddy Bridgewater. And this one's complete. Josh Bellamy is going to play some defense as well today. Gain of 6 on the play. Bridgewater and Geno Smith basically from the same area, correct?
Dade County guy and Teddy Bridgewater at Northwestern High School, and on the other side, Geno Smith, a Broward County guy from Miramar High School. Teddy, there are his numbers: 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and Geno, we saw what he could do throughout the year on that first drive.
Dominique Brown dots the I. Picked up 7 on the first, 2nd and 3. Brown, nowhere to go as Doug Rigg, the sophomore linebacker, back after that broken hand, back in the lineup. Let's check the offensive lineup for the Louisville Cardinals. Michael E. Harris has 26 catches. Eli Rogers right behind with 21. Devontae Parker with 4 touchdowns leads that. And up front, it's Cupper, Miller, Benavides, Smith, and Kessling. Smith is a redshirt freshman. John Miller is a true freshman. Double tights now with Chichester and Chris White. And Dominique Brown breaks through on the left side, and he's off to the races. Dominique Brown all the way inside the 10-yard line. And Keith Candy wrestles him out. Louisville on 3rd and 3 or less They were 21 of 31 on third down, 3 yards or less, 68%. Nice hole here.
Boy, what a great job at the point of attack. There's a white jersey on a blue jersey at the line of scrimmage, and Dominic Brown is not supposed to do this. He came in with a long of only 23 yards. That goes for 55 yards off the left side, short side of the football field. He's the power back, and I'm sure we may see him in those situations. Third and short, you want to give it to big number 10.
And now number 20, Victor Anderson, had the big game against Syracuse last week, dots the I in the backfield for Louisville. He gets the call. Hits that line of scrimmage, picks up a couple. George Wrights, the redshirt junior from Miami, wrestles him down. A 2-yard gain for Victor Anderson.
Mike, this drive is so important for Louisville to answer a score with a score. Even if they come away with a field goal opportunity, you'd love to get 6 points here, but Louisville has to combat the West Virginia offense. They're known for scoring points. They can score in bunches. Louisville does not do that. So if they're down here, they have to make it count.
This time Jeremy Wright in the backfield. Bridgewater working out of the shotgun. Wright cuts it back. Jeremy Wright fighting for the end zone. Did he get there? Yes. Jeremy Wright's in for the touchdown. His first rushing touchdown in 2011. And this one goes 8 yards.
Jeremy Wright showing you his toughness. Normally, he shows you how explosive he is on the outside because he has that great speed. But watch the toughness inside the 5-yard line. That's just a great job of pushing Pat Miller and the rest of that Mountaineer defense into the end zone. There were 3 or 4 blue jerseys around there, and Wright was able to get in for 6.
And Philpotts for 1 right there. The penalty flag is dropped. The whistle's blowing down there.
Prior to the after prior play is under review.
They're going to take a look at that last one to see if he got in before the kick. They're going to go upstairs and check with Jack Kramer.
Well, there was contact right about the 3-yard line, 2-yard line right there, and then the push. Let's see if we can see a knee down. I don't see it. I don't see it. I think that right arm with the football touches or breaks the plane before he's on the ground. This might be a great look here, Mike. Take a look at the traffic, the legs below the official. See if we can see if Wright's knee touches down before that ball's extended. His knee is down. That's not conclusive on that show right there.
Well, now it's in the hands or the eyes of Jack Kramer, looking for indisputable video evidence upstairs. He's our replay official. You know, John, it was interesting talking to Charlie Strong this week. He said last year, the first play from scrimmage, they opened a 7-yard loss, and he said it was just one play, but they never recovered from that. Neither team doing much offensively, but obviously doing a pretty good job offensively here in their first possession.
Mike, the only other thing you could look for in that replay was his left elbow to touch down possibly before the ball breaks the plane. And that's what the officials upstairs are going to take a look at. The knee, the elbow, and see where that football is at that time. Take a look in between the legs of the official, the umpire right in the middle of the screen. The legs that are turning are Jeremy Wright. Now there's the knee down, it looks like right there.
Rolling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Touchdown.
Don't think they had a clear enough look to overturn that, Mike.
Well, I was just thinking, hey, if you think it's an easy job being a replay official, try to decipher that one.
Yeah.
With all those legs. So Charlie Strong on their first possession last week, they got a touchdown, and likewise here in Morgantown. So Jeremy Wright gets his first rushing touchdown, and Philpott is back on the field. He'll try again for the extra point, which will be the equalizer. And he has it. So we're tied at 7-7 after a 73-play drive. A big play by Dominique Brown goes 55.
Brown did a great job of getting the Louisville Cardinals in the red zone, and then 5 plays, 73 yards, 2:38 off the clock. Just a great job of answering the score with a score.
So we saw Victor Anderson. We see Wright score the touchdown, but it was Dominique Brown with the big 55-yard gain.
This sets up the touchdown for the Louisville Cardinals. This is a team that doesn't score often. They scored early, matching a score of West Virginia.
Today's Big East Network game is brought to you by PNC for the Achiever in You. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Vote now at CoachOfTheYear.com. Dr. Pepper 10 bold calories, 23 flavors. Vonage, sounds good. Tradewinds Resorts, the place to kick off your beach getaway. And by the 2012 ESPN National Golf Challenge, go to ESPNGolf.com and sign up today. Mountaineers making their walk into the stadium known as the man trip as they touch that piece of coal. That piece of coal is about 350 pounds. New tradition under Dana Holgerson, the new coach here for the Mountaineers.
Mountaineers right now, you talk about a guy that has the reins of this program, and Dana's done a nice job of transitioning the program, getting them to think the way that he wants to bring this mentality of this football team, especially on the offensive side of the football, because defensively, Jeff Castile's running the show, but the guy in charge is definitely Dana Holgerson.
Philpott with his second kick. This one, Devin Brown at the 15-yard line. A short kick gets up to the 25, and he's drilled. Returns at 11. On that kickoff coverage team making the tackle, Sonoris Perry, the backup running back. You know, that touchdown by West Virginia on their opening possession after the 61-yard kickoff return, that was the first time in 4 games that anyone has scored in the first quarter against this Louisville defense.
The Louisville defense has done a nice job, and they haven't allowed many points. They're averaging coming into this game 16.2 points per game defensively. So it's a situation where they do well in the first quarter as well as the fourth quarter, bringing pressure and bringing heat on the pocket.
Keep it on the ground again, all the way up to the 35. Garrison again. Let's take a look at today's Bank of America starting lineups, looking at that Cardinal defense. Up front, Savoy, the only senior. Philon's a sophomore, Dunn's a sophomore, DuBois a freshman. The linebackers, Brown, Heyman, and Brown. Preston Brown, the defensive player of the week last week. Another short run pushed out of bounds by Savoy. And the secondary, Johnson is a freshman, Pryor's a freshman, Hakeem Smith, the sophomore, Adrian Bouchel, the Florida Gator transfer, he's a junior. So West Virginia, 4 wideouts on 2nd and 13. Austin up over the 40 all the way to the 43-yard line. Had to get to the 45. Mike Evans brings him down, a gain of 11. So is a 3rd and short coming up, John.
Mike, this is one of the things that Dana Holgerson, the head coach of the Mountaineers, wanted to stay away from negative plays on first down. They come back, they get in a good situation now in 3rd and short.
Lindemuth back in the backfield along with Garrison, the freshman out of Texas. Garrison. He's stacked up. It's going to be close depending on the spot. William Savoy, the senior defensive end, the first inner to make the initial contact.
Initially it looked short, Mike, and I think it's short by about a half of a football. And I think this offense is going to stay on the field.
No one has even...
for a little while anyway.
Oh, here we come. I thought you nailed that one, JC. But the fans wanted them to stay on the field. You can hear some of the boos around Milan Puskar Stadium. You know, West Virginia, 43% on 3rd down this year. Against Rutgers, just 15% in the snow. 0 for 7 on 3rd in the first half. But they had a big second half against the Scarlet Knights.
Well, Mike, just because you put that punt unit out there doesn't mean you're going to punt it all the time either.
Mike Molinari, the redshirt freshman.
Offense, number 48. 5-yard penalty.
Well, that takes that.
I guess you're going to punt it now.
Now you're going to punt it, yeah.
So Dana Holgerson coming in averaging about 39 points a game. It's funny, you talk about Houston and Oklahoma State, and he said he's got great kids, and in time they're going to have a great offense, but he's not overly impressed with his offense this year so far.
Well, I'm not sure why, but when you compare the numbers to the other schools he's been at, you can tell that this group has taken a little while to get used to it.
Great coverage by West Virginia. A 39-yard punt. As Jared Barber comes down with a Cody Nutter to make the stop. So Charlie Strong has the football back. He scored once. Can they do it again? Gorgeous November afternoon in Morgantown, West Virginia. 9:19 to go in the first. All tied up at 7. Now let's take a look at the Big East standings brought to you by the Belk Bowl. See Cincinnati heading over to Pittsburgh tonight at 2-0, and it's a 3-way tie right behind, but nobody's out of it as of yet.
No, you know what, Mike? You take a look at the conference, and it's really the same story as it's been last year and the year before. You come to the stadium, and this team is supposed to beat somebody else, and they don't do it.
And Charlie Strong in his second year after winning a bowl last year, starting to turn things around now with a very young football team.
Yes, and he's doing a great job of coaching young guys. And the best compliment that can be paid to a head coach is from another head coach. And Dana Holgerson said yesterday of Charlie Strong, when I watch Louisville on tape, all I see is effort all the time. And that's a sign of a good football coach, and that's mutual respect.
The Cardinals have lost 10 times since Charlie Strong took over. 7 of the 10 losses have been by an average of 6 points. Now they're tied with West Virginia at 7. Bridgewater swings it out, and this one's complete to Eli Rogers, the freshman from Miami. You know, it's interesting, Bridgewater, Rogers, Michael E. Harris, all coming from the same high school.
A lot of reps with each other since they've been kids, and that really holds true on the other side of the football too for Geno Smith. He's done the same thing with Stedman Bailey and Ivan McCartney. So a lot of repetition with guys that are at skill positions, but it all starts with the trigger guy at quarterback.
Jeremy Wright's in the backfield, 2nd and 1. White gets the call. Not sure if he gets the first down. Juwan Snow, the redshirt freshman middle linebacker, brings him down as we take a look at that defensive lineup for the Mountaineers. Julian Miller with 23 sacks in his career. That's #1 in the country for active players. And the linebackers, Najee Good, Rigg, and Snow. Rigg back in the lineup after breaking his hand. And the secondary, Tandy and Miller at the corners. Garvin, Smith, and Cook. Darwin Cook with 11 tackles last week at Rutgers.
And Mike, in this situation last time, 3rd and short, they went to the short side of the field, did Louisville. Big play by Dominique Brown.
And Brown's in the lineup, and Brown gets the call, and Brown gets the first down. Picks up 2, but that's enough to move the chains as Rigg and Snow make the stop.
That gives an indication to defensive coordinator Jeff Castile of where Louisville wants to go with the football in 3rd and short. That's the second time they've pounded the left side, the short side of the field, and Charlie Strong was imploring his offensive lineman before the play to get going, and I know that Jeff on the other sideline wants to win that battle on 3rd down.
Play action. Bridgewater looking down the middle and finding his man. This one's complete again. It's Eli Rogers with a big pickup for the Louisville Cardinals. This one goes 37 yards.
Freshman to freshman after the great play action fake. This is maturity. We talked about this at the Open, Mike, about taking baby steps from week 1 to week 2 to week 3. You can see the progression and the poise and the leadership shown by Teddy Bridgewater to hang in the pocket, scan the field, and find Rogers wide open down the Cardinals sideline.
Bridgewater with another first down, 3 for 3. Opened up last week 7 for 7. 3 touchdown passes on 2 of his first 3 possessions. Anderson turns the corner, spins inside the 25 all the way down to the 20-yard line. Strong run by Victor Anderson. Pat Miller made him spin, but Anderson picks up 10.
You can tell how excited this young team is from Louisville because a great spin move on the outside, but this is the veteran, this is the senior, Victor Anderson. He goes outside and gets the first down. That Louisville sideline erupted after that play. So it's a situation where they're coming to Morgantown believing that they can win a football game.
Anderson looking more and more like he did his freshman year when he ran for over 1,000 yards. Bridgewater near side. It's another completion down inside the 15-yard line. Chris White, the sophomore tight end, with the reception as we check in with Eamon.
Well, Mike, John is absolutely right. It started with the long pass to Eli Rogers. This bench is alive and energetic, and you contrast it to its last road game against Cincinnati where they hung around and had the lead, but they were never fired up like this. John said it exactly right. This is a team that believes it can come in here and win this ball game right now.
Well, Eamon, John always says it exactly right, doesn't he?
At least they're not at home, maybe here.
2nd and short again for the Louisville Cardinals. Dominique Brown had it in the Wildcat. Misses Sonoris Perry. Wow. Reaching into the bag of tricks, and Sonoris Perry goes 13 yards.
Talk about a wrinkle. Sean Watson, the offensive coordinator, he told us last week the teacher will appear when the student is ready. It looks like there's multiple students that are ready on this drive, including Teddy Bridgewater. This time Dominic Brown hands it at the quarterback position. Remember, he was a former quarterback to Perry outside, and he goes in easily.
Perry scores, Philpott converts. Another flag down on the field, so Philpott may have to come back and try it again.
Defense, right end, penalty decline, extra point is good.
So it will stand with Philpott. That's Brian Platt, our referee. 78 yards in just 7 plays, John.
Sonoris Perry does a great job of gaining the edge on the outside on the handoff from Dominic Brown. This is going to be a great football game. Hang around.
Cardinals on top in Morgantown, 14-7. This season started, they could not run the football for their life. Well, the last 3 weeks, they're running the football, John.
They've been able to mix it up. They've been able to run the football, but effectively throwing the football as well. Here, Bridgewater goes 37 yards to Eli Rogers. Then you get Victor Anderson outside, a great spin move. He moves the chains, gets everybody excited for Sonoris Perry going in outside for 13 yards. He breaks 2 arm tackles to get into the end zone and take the lead 14-7.
And you look at the 78-yard drive, 7 plays, and what are they averaging now on that drive rushing the football?
8 carries, 91 yards, 11.4 yards per carry, and this is the one worry that defensive coordinator Jeff Castile had coming into the game. We don't want to panic, but we need to be able to stop the run consistently. Everything starts with that, especially on the early downs. So far, the Mountaineers have not been able to get off the field on 3rd down.
Hey fans, you can win a trip to this year's Beef O'Brady's Bowl with a 4-night stay at Tradewinds Resort on St. Pete's Beach. More on that in a second. Right after the kick, it's going to be Austin at the goal line. Here comes Trayvon Austin over the 30. And just shy of the 40-yard line. Penalty flag dropped at the 35.
During the return, little block in the back. Number 50, 10-yard penalty.
39 yards. So Starks takes one 61. Austin goes 39, but this one, a little block in the back, it's coming back. So the big...
Not sure if we're gonna be able to pick it up right there. It looked like on the outside for the Mountaineers. Could have been Redmond on the push in the back, the reserve linebacker on the special teams play, so that negates a big gain, but the Mountaineers will still start at the 25-yard line.
Alston had the big game last week, 110. A little movement by Alston. There's the penalty flag.
Flag on the play.
This one's going to go back 5 yards.
False start. Offense, number 20, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Here's one of the things that Coach Holgerson talked to us yesterday about: negative plays on offense. You can't have them. That comes in terms of not being able to execute, but penalties as well. Too many penalties.
So 1st and 15. Trips to the top of your screen for Geno Smith. Louisville showing pressure. Coming in from the left side, Geno Smith's right. Here they come. Smith finds the open man. Bailey turns the corner, 30 up close to the 35-yard line. First down marker was at the 35. A 16-yard pickup. Nice job by Bailey, and nice job by Geno Smith.
And a better job by the offensive line, providing ample time for Geno Smith to find the open guy against pressure. And here comes more tempo from West Virginia.
Smith up over the 40, spins to the 43, 44-yard line. Willie Millhouse. Now, hey fans, you can win a trip to this year's Beef O'Brady's Bowl with a 4-night stay at Tradewinds Resorts on St. Pete's Beach. Premium tickets to the game, access to bowl events, and much more. Enter to win at beefobradysbowl.com today. Player down on the field, so there's official timeout. As I thought this might defense might set the tempo. You know, it's interesting, Charlie Strong saying what he likes about Geno Smith so much is he can set the tempo of the game, and that's what Charlie Strong likes to do with his defense.
Yeah, both teams, it's really, you go strength against strength today, Mike, with a situation for the Mountaineers where they love to put pressure by tempo, spreading the football, spreading the formations out, and defensively for Charlie Strong and their defense, the way they like to attack the edge. We haven't seen many corner blitzes yet, but we have seen it up the middle, and West Virginia's made him pay for 7 points.
74, that's Joe Madsen down. They're looking at his left leg or left knee. And
well, you hope this is a guy that is able to come back because he's the glue up there on that offensive line.
Dana Holgerson telling us they have a real lack of depth. They have 6 guys that can play up front, and he's one of the best right there. Joe Madsen, the redshirt junior from Ohio.
Tough player, smart center. He's the quarterback of that offensive line. You talk about setting the tempo for the offense. He's one of those guys that has to get everybody lined up very quickly so Geno can operate. And as much shotgun as West Virginia goes to, you're going to have another guy that come in. It looks like Jeff Braun may slide over from the guard spot to the center spot. It looked like he was taking some center snaps on the sideline. So you may have, as you said, Mike, there's only 6 guys that right now are in the mix. So Braun will go to the center position to take the spot of Joe Madsen.
And now they have to move their left guard, Braun, who had 6 knockdown blocks each of the last 2 weeks. Move him to center.
Yeah, Quentin Spann may come in at that left guard position to take Jeff's spot.
And Spann, a redshirt freshman out of West Virginia. Geno Smith 4 for 5 for 59 yards and a touchdown so far. They're going to keep it on the ground, and they're going to keep moving the chains as Sean Alston gets over to the midfield stripe, picks up 8 more yards. Thought it was interesting, John, last week Alston went 52 in the snow, and he said it wasn't bad as long as you didn't get too fancy. He said, there's nothing fancy about my running anyway.
And there was nothing fancy about this right here. He just finds the crease, he presses the hole up the field to the short side, and then he stays down and tries to go north and south.
Madsen back on the field. So he wasn't out very long, and you talk about that toughness. Smith dropped the football. It's loose. And the Mountaineers are saying they recovered it.
Covered by West Virginia.
Greg Scruggs, the senior defensive end who's been nicked up with a turf toe, actually stripped the ball out of Geno Smith's hands.
That's a great job of pressuring the pocket. There's the left hand you talked about, Mike, from Greg Scruggs, who's been out. He didn't play last week against Syracuse in the big home victory, but the Mountaineers very fortunate to get on the football, and Charlie's saying, come on, guys. Get on the same page. You were close, but come up with the scoop and score.
Loss of 10, so 2nd and 29. Smith feeling the pressure, steps up nicely. Austin broken up at the last second by Mike Evans. Well, maybe the last millisecond.
That's the second time, Mike. There's another one of those opportunities. We talked about it and touched on it at the open. There's going to be 5, 6, 7 plays in this football game where Louisville's going to bring pressure and West Virginia is going to challenge. They love the pressure, and that's a good job of recovering by Mike Evans, just getting close to affect Tavon Austin going up for the reception.
Smith. This one's complete inside Louisville territory. Devin Brown, the 5th-year senior, his first catch, picks up 11. And here comes the punt team. Mike Molinari, the redshirt freshman from Parkersburg South High School, on the field. We saw him break into the lineup against UConn a few weeks ago. Eli Rogers, the true freshman, standing back at the 10-yard line. Molinari. This one goes off the right. Depends where they spot it now. It's going to be one of his shorter kicks. He comes in averaging almost 41 yards. Looks like they're going to spot it around the 35-yard line. And they're going to give a 12-yard punt to Molinari. Uncharacteristic for the redshirt freshman, coming in averaging about 41, and Dana Holgerson obviously not overly pleased with that kick.
No, and I wouldn't be, because it's a situation now where Louisville should have been pinned back down inside their 20-yard line, and after a punt of only 12 yards, it's a situation now where the young quarterback and a young team that has confidence, that has a 7-point lead, are going to try to add to that lead.
So Teddy Bridgewater opened last week against Syracuse, 7 for 7. He's 4 for 4 for 60 yards here against West Virginia. Bridgewater swings it out, and this one's complete. Got some blocks, and inside West Virginia territory is Chris White, the big sophomore tight end. Gain of 23 as we check in with Eamon again.
Well, Mike, John mentioned the teacher-student relationship for the Louisville offense. Well, class was definitely in session during that last series for the West Virginia defense, as Jeff Castile had an extended chalk talk with his linebackers and his defensive backs. His main message was talk and communicate, and then at the end he said, hey, fellas, it's very simple. We got to stop them sooner or later.
Jeff Castile, right after this play, I want to share with the viewers that last week's game. This is Jeremy Wright piled up at about the 45. Jeff Castile, they gave up 31 first-half points, then posted the shutout. He said, you know, he gives the kids credit. He's got great kids, but he also lost 7 starters from last year. 6 guys lined up in NFL camps, and I like his sense of humor. Some coaches would be suicidal right now, but he said, hey, what are you going to do?
Well, it was one of those talks at halftime and said, hey, guys, some of you can take your stuff off and stay in the locker room. The other guys, whoever wants to play and keep playing at a different level, come on out and follow me. And they did just that, and they shut out the Scarlet Knights in the second half.
Great point. He probably didn't have a sense of humor at halftime last week. Bridgewater's going down. 11th sack for West Virginia. Bruce Irvin. That's 17 and a half now in less than 2 years since arriving in Morgantown. Loss of 11.
And sometimes it hasn't always resulted in sacks for Bruce Irvin in 2011 like it did last year. But if you can affect the quarterback in a way that you know he's on the edge, and he gets help from Doug Rigg on that play as well, but he's coming off the edge. Once he gets that speed rush and he has that shoulder down, he's going to win that battle on the edge 9 times out of 10.
So now Bridgewater faces a third and a long way to go. 3rd and 19. Again, he's going down, and again, it's number 11, Bruce Irvin.
Mike, the key is 3rd and long. Bruce Irvin can pin his ears back, and they've scaled back the playing time for Bruce since the UConn game. They want to use him more as a specialist like they did last year, and you can see it's no match on the outside for Jamon Brown, the right tackle. Bruce Irvin just dips that shoulder, the speed rush up the field on consecutive plays to get Teddy Bridgewater.
Louisville now 2 of the last 20 on 3rd down conversions of 10 yards or more. Austin calling for the fair catch, and he gets it just shy of the 25-yard line. 37-yard punt, that time by the Louisville Cardinals. And that's going to be the final play of the first 15 minutes of this ball game. And John Congemi, it's been a very interesting 15 minutes at that.
It's been exciting, and the reason it's been exciting is because Louisville's been able to run the football and mix the pass in to score points.
Well, the West Virginia Mountaineers score on their first possession, but Charlie Strong gets 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. And right now, the Mountaineers are behind by a touchdown, 14-7. Cardinals on top on the road. Virginia, as we take a look at the West Virginia University campus. But it's not West Virginia on top now, 14-7. You look at the first quarter, all started with a big kick return by Brad Starks.
Brad Starks did what he wanted to do on special teams, allowing West Virginia to operate on a short field, and they know how to operate on a short field. Geno Smith goes downtown and finds Tavon Austin to open up the scoring for the Mountaineers. But the Louisville Cardinals, they come right back behind Dominique Brown, a huge run to set up this tough inside the tackle running by Jeremy Wright. He ties it at 7. Then the veteran, the senior of the group, Victor Anderson, he moves the chains for 10 yards, and that allows Sonoris Perry to go outside, break a couple arm tackles for the touchdown to push the lead. Closing out that first quarter, you heard the chants of Bruce Irvin, 2 sacks on the afternoon early, but the Cardinals They've been strong in the first quarter. They've outscored opponents, as you see, 62-24, but it's the second, third, and fourth quarter that has gotten them into trouble.
Holgerson with a deep stable of running backs now going with Andrew Bowie and Ryan Clark in the backfield, but Geno Smith comes out firing, and again it's Austin. You know, Stedman Bailey has this communication with Geno Smith. He leads the team with 5 consecutive 100-yard games, receiving yards, but it was Austin that Charlie Strong was worried most about.
Yeah, Austin, because he's a fast player, he's a fast twitch player, and he makes the big play more times than not for this Mountaineer offense.
Austin, the fastest player Dana Holgerson said he's ever coached. There's Geno Smith, swings it out. This is Andrew Bowie. Bowie rumbles up, the true freshman from Jacksonville, Florida, picks up a big one. 18 yards before Mike Evans brings him down.
Seldom used Andre Bowie comes in. He only had 6 receptions coming into the game, make it 7 now, but a big chunk yardage play for the Mountaineers.
Bowie stays on the field. Austin, look out. Oh, nice open field tackle by Preston Brown, the sophomore. If he doesn't make that tackle, there could be some damage.
Yeah, the Big East Defensive Player of the Week last week with 7 total tackles and 2 sacks against Syracuse. He made a game-saving or a touchdown-saving tackle there on the outside. Huge play for the Cardinal defense.
Only 4 on the game. Could have been much worse. Bowie falls ahead. Gain of a couple. Roy Philon, the sophomore from Lexington, Kentucky, making the stop. You know, it's amazing. You talk about the great numbers that Louisville's put up, but all the injuries Vance Bedford, the defensive coordinator, has had to deal with up front. Alston back on the field now for West Virginia in the backfield. Here's some razzle-dazzle. Austin to the 30. Picks up 8.
Yeah, Mike, you love the play call there on 3rd down, and it's all set up. Joe Matson, the center, comes back into the football game. He's back at the helm. Great snap on the center quarterback shotgun, and then the pitch around the corner to Tavon Austin. You don't want to give him a crease because he'll make you pay for 6 points.
And saw Austin in the snow take off for about 80 yards against Rutgers last week. Smith over the middle. This one's complete inside the 20-yard line. And again, it's number 1, Tavon Austin. And Mike Evans.
24 yards on the gain, and credit the offensive line and Geno Smith. He was under pressure the entire time. He hangs in the pocket and finds the speedster over the middle, who's able to get the football to the 5-yard line.
I was going to say Mike Evans, usually a sure tackler, slipped off of Austin that time. Geno Smith looking for his 22nd touchdown pass. He's got it. Bailey's got his 8th. Touchdown, West Virginia.
That was too easy. Mike, that was efficient, and you can see why Geno Smith is 5th nationally in passing yards per game. He was accurate, he was on time, and it was no match on the outside. Stedman Bailey on Andrew Johnson. Miami against Miramar. Miami didn't come out on top on that one. Miami and Andrew Johnson. Stedman Bailey made him look bad on that one.
Tyler Bittenkurt converts. So West Virginia puts their offense on display now. 76 yards in just 7 plays. Tied up at 14.
Credit Geno Smith, Mike, because the efficiency from the quarterback spot, the toughness and the determination bring the Mountaineers in the red zone. That allowed Stedman Bailey to tie the score at 14.
Network game is brought to you by Ameriprise Financial, more within reach. Honda Generators, power for the ultimate tailgating experience. AT&T, rethink possible. Groove Caulk by GE, never sticky or stringy, never cracks or crumbles, always paintable. Tradewinds Resorts, the place to kick off your beach getaway. And by Vizio, delivering entertainment freedom for all. Well, the Mountaineer fans All smiles again, tied up at 14. Louisville with a couple of touchdowns in the first quarter, but keeping these guys off the board, that's a different matter.
It's a tough situation when you're Louisville and you're trying to pressure the pocket with Geno Smith doing such a great job. 7 plays, 76 yards. He takes 2:42 off the clock. He's 10 of 12 on the afternoon for 136 and 2 touchdowns. He's hit 6 in a row, so Geno Smith on a roll right now.
Corey Smith with the kick. This is going to be Victor Anderson in the end zone. Wow, he thought about taking it out. Jeremy Wright said no, go back in. He says, no, I'm going to take it out over the 20-yard line. Return of 21. Let's go back and take a look at that last drive by the Mountaineers.
We talked about Geno Smith. It all starts with the screen pass to Bowie. It goes for 18 yards, and he did such a nice job of mixing up the run and the pass. Here at the end around, just a pure speedster on the outside to Tavon Austin. Then the fade route on the outside. Stedman Bailey, 5 touchdown passes in his last 4 games. That's the connection. Geno Smith to Bailey that ties the score.
Let's take a look at our Big East leaders, brought to you by PNC for the Achiever in You. We talk about these weapons at West Virginia right after this play. We'll see how they stack up in the Big East. Dominique Brown in the backfield. Bridgewater swings it out to Brown. Near side up near the 25-yard line. So as we take a look at our Big East leaders, brought to you by PNC. This is receiving yards per game. See Bailey, Austin, McCartney. That's 1, 3, and 5 in the Big East.
Yeah, I'll take that if I'm Geno Smith, because Stedman Bailey, that's 16th nationally as well. So it's a situation. You have Mohamed Sanu in there as well from Rutgers, a big, strong wide receiver. But these 3 guys that are wearing the gold and blue, they get it done.
Receptions per game. Austin is 2nd, Bailey 4th, McCartney 6th. Dominique Brown again with the carry. So the Louisville Cardinals using all 3 backs. Dominique Brown the biggest.
Mike, this is a situation where West Virginia defensively would love to get off the field. They just got their momentum offensively, big plays in their offense, but defensively, they have to find a way to get off the field on 3rd down.
Cardinals 2 for 3 converting 3rd downs, working out of the I formation. To no avail. Good surge by that defensive front by West Virginia. So big number 97, Julian Miller, the 5th-year senior from Columbus, getting in there.
Sometimes you have to impose your will on the offensive line if you're a defense that's been struggling. This time they win the battle at the line of scrimmage, and you were right. Julian Miller was the guy in there along with George Wright, 99. Those are the 2 guys that were able to find a crease in that Louisville offensive line.
You know, John, I think it might have been more George Wright with the surge, and Julian Miller was in the crowd, but Tavon Austin now back to receive the punt. He's standing at the 25-yard line and calls for the fair catch. He's going to take it at the 35. So it's a 35-yard punt by the Louisville Cardinals. And the Mountaineer fans enjoying a beautiful sunny Saturday afternoon. When we come back, we're going to hear from the head coach of West Virginia, Dana Holgorsen, and talking about some unique communication style with his quarterbacks. Back in Morgantown with more right after this. Cardinals, Mountaineers all tied up at 14. Top of the show, we talked about the success that Dana Holgorsen's had with Texas Tech, Houston, Oklahoma State. He has a very unique way of communicating with his quarterbacks.
The communication is something that me and him get and nobody else does. You know, we have some other coaches that are fantastic coaches, but they try to step in my shoes and try to communicate with them, and it just doesn't work. You know, it's a lot of nonverbal communication that we may switch a signal in the course of a game. You know, and our switch route's right here.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a deal to where, you know, we got to be on the same page, and we got to make sure that we're kind of, you know, nonverbal communication, thinking and doing sign language throughout the course of the game.
Sometimes Holgerson says he can get aggravated. When he does, it's Smith's job to find out why he's aggravated on the sidelines.
Well, it's a situation where it's a special relationship in a quarterback and a head coach, and he's acting as the play caller as well. So you have to know what he's thinking. You have to get inside of that head coach's mind, and Geno Smith so far has done an excellent job.
Dustin Garrison, the freshman running back out of Texas, back on the field for West Virginia, gets the call. Weaves his way up over the 40. Dropped at the 45. He picks up 9 on the play. That 291 yards he had against Bowling Green is still number 1 among FBS running backs.
And Mike, plays like that make it easier for the play caller to communicate with his quarterback when you can run the football effectively.
Geno Smith going upstairs, has a man open, and it's dropped. Stedman Bailey had it and dropped it, and he's not going to drop many.
It's shocking when you see a ball dropped by Stedman Bailey, so Mountaineer fans, although you gave up 6 points on the play, you're not going to see that play too many times on any Saturday afternoon.
Holgerson talking about body language, hand gestures, even stares with his quarterback Geno Smith. 3rd and short, 3rd and 1. Alston in the backfield. Alston gets the call on the first down. Up over the 47, he picks up 3. Randy Salmon, the junior from Atlanta, Georgia, makes the stop.
And there's some of that sign language, that communication from head coach to quarterback that only Geno Smith knows, and he can set up the formation, set up the plays. Other people have other responsibilities, but the head coach and quarterback are talking constantly.
We say Justin Blackman at Oklahoma State's the only receiver to really figure him out.
And it was only halfway.
Alston again, and he's inside Cardinal territory. Wiggles his way down to about the 47. He picks up 6 more. Hakeem Smith makes the stop.
And it's important for Geno Smith right after the play to pick up his head coach, because they'd like to change the pace of this offense. So when Geno looks over after the play, no time to celebrate. It's time to move on to the next play.
Garrison now 7 carries for 30 yards. Wow, they flipped this one out. Garrison again. So Garrison all the way inside the 30-yard line.
Complete to Dustin Garrison. Flag on the play.
Picks up 20.
And that was going to be a free play. It looked like the Louisville defensive end of the near side may have had a jump on the Mountaineer offensive line.
Offside. Defense. Number 8, penalty to climb. It's on the play, first down.
You can see how quickly the plays go from sideline to quarterback. The Mountaineers are lined up at the line of scrimmage. Dana's already signaled to Geno, and they're ready to play.
Andrew Bowie, the freshman running back, in the pistol now behind Geno Smith. Smith goes deep, looking for Austin, incomplete. Good coverage by Mike Evans in that Louisville secondary that time.
And that last play, Mike, that's one of those plays that the Louisville Cardinals came with that corner pressure, and Geno Smith tried to make a big play. Preston Brown was also in on the play, but there again, another play from the sidelines to quarterback, and the Mountaineers are right back at the line of scrimmage.
Bowie. He's depleted there, but not before he picks up the first down. We'll check it.
And there's that communication again, Mike. And although we're showing this, Dana said, you know what? It's not a big deal to me. You can show it because we'll just change it in the game, or we'll change it next week. They've got so many different signals and plays to go to.
Said first down, I meant the line of scrimmage. They still have 10 to go for the first down on 3rd now. Smith right over the middle. Inside the 20, that's Devin Brown again, the 5th-year senior. And it's going to move the chains with the first down. Picks up 11, and that tempo is starting to give Louisville some problems.
First down, West Virginia.
You can see, Dana, I think that's the sign for pick up the tempo. Let's go. Zero coverage, man-to-man coverage. Somebody has to win on the outside.
It's Alston and Roberts. This one's complete to Ivan McCartney, the sophomore. That's his first grab today.
And Mike, that's a great job by Louisville. They showed zero coverage, nobody in the center of the football field at free safety, and at the last minute they bailed out. So a good job by defensive coordinator Vance Bedford on the other side for the Cardinals.
Now it's Alston and Bowie in the backfield as Holgerson really mixing up his running backs, going into his stable here this afternoon. Josh Bellamy, the wide receiver, playing defensive back for the Louisville Cardinals. There's a toss, and looking for McCartney, it's going to fall incomplete. So William Savoy, the senior defensive end, putting pressure on Geno Smith. And so now West Virginia will face another third down. Third and medium.
Here comes down the middle of the field. This might be just that quick slant up at the top of your screen.
Plenty of time for Smith. Fires. Wow, what a nice grab by Stedman Bailey. He laid out right in the middle of the field for that one. Picks up 10.
Takes courage to go over the middle like that for Stedman Bailey to reach out at the 2-yard line, maybe the 1, and come down with a reception. That's just great effort.
So Sean Alston on the field in the backfield with Geno Smith. First and goal. Alston puts his head down to no avail. B.J. Butler.
Tackled by B.J. Butler.
Sophomore from Kissimmee, Florida. Both teams with a lot of Floridians on their roster.
Mike, this is the type of drive that takes it out of you if you're wearing a white jersey today in the Louisville Cardinals. You can see the demeanor on the sidelines a little bit down, and that defense has to find a way to keep the Mountaineers off the scoreboard.
Alston. Two touchdowns last week. His first this afternoon. He's got 6 now on the year.
That was an impressive drive by the Mountaineers and Geno Smith. In control the entire time. First set up by this catch. We talked about the quick slants up at the top of the screen. This is just an improvisation by Stedman Bailey. He stayed with the route. That was supposed to be a quick hitting route. But give credit to Geno Smith and Stedman Bailey for finding a way to make a play. And now it's 21-14 Mountaineers after that touchdown run by Alston.
Mountaineers came into the game with 15 drives of 10 plays or more. This one goes 13 for 65. And again, that communication we have between Dana Holgerson and his quarterback Geno Smith going on for the entire drive, which covered 65 yards for the Mountaineers. And the Mountaineers home for the first time in 3 weeks and back in front 21-14.
And anytime Coach Holgerson's talking about those signs, he wants Geno to do exactly to stay on the same page. He was on the same page. 13 plays, 65 yards, 4:47 off the clock. The 2-yard run by Sean Alston, and they take over a 7-point lead.
Corey Smith ready to kick off the deep men. Jeremy Wright and Dominique Brown for the Louisville Cardinals. This is going to be Wright inside the 5-yard line. Jeremy Wright all the way up to the 30-yard line. And he's brought down by Terrence Garvin. A return of 27. Attention golfers and club pros. Online registration is now open for the 2012 ESPN National Golf Challenge. Log on to ESPNGolf.com to sign up and find a participating course near you.
Well, Mike, for the Louisville offense, the young quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater, he did this before when it was 7-0 West Virginia. He was able to lead his team down and match a score with the score. This is an important drive for the Cardinals offense, not maybe to score points, but to just gain some of that momentum back.
Bridgewater perfect so far, 6 for 6 for 82 yards. And he's going down. That's the 3rd sack for the Mountaineers, 13 now for the season. And Julian Miller, who had 9 the last 2 years, picks up another one with some help from George Wright.
The Mountaineers have been able to turn up the pressure on the young quarterback. This ball should be gone by now, but too much pressure in the face of Teddy Bridgewater, and 4 or 5 blue jerseys in to try to get that sack. You mentioned, Mike, 3 sacks on the afternoon, all led by number 99, George Wright.
Loss of 5 on the play. Wright gets a half, and Miller gets a half for that effort. Victor Anderson now 2nd and 16. Anderson gets the call, and he hits a wall just over the line of scrimmage as we check back in with Eamon.
Well, Mike, protecting the quarterback has been the main topic of conversation for the Louisville offense here on the sidelines, and slowing down Bruce Irvin is the main concern. Running backs coach Kenny Carter telling his guys they have to help out and chip Irvin, especially on a blitz. So it should be interesting here on a pass situation to see how eager they are to get in the way of number 11.
Number 11, 2 sacks already. 18 and a half now in his brief career here in Morgantown.
You're not going to win on the road, Mike, trying to convert 3rd, 11, 3rd, and 12 consistently.
They were 4 for 11 last week, 2 for 4. And the Cardinals called the timeout right before the snap, so they'll have 2 remaining with 4:15 to go here in the first half.
Yeah, the reason why this Louisville offense was successful early in this game, they were able to run the football. They were going to get into 3rd and medium, 3rd and short situations. Now Charlie Strong knows his offense. He does not want to put his young quarterback in 3rd and 12, 3rd and 11 situations.
All season long, Champion Athletic Wear will proudly showcase stadium traditions from around the Big East. And this afternoon, let's take a look at the pregame performance of the West Virginia Marching Band, known as the Pride of West Virginia. They form a complex formation, an outline of the state of West Virginia, moving down the field and playing Hail West Virginia. Eventually, they invert to face the student section, and the crowd starts chanting, "Let's go Mountaineers." Visit Champion on Facebook. Show us your game face for a chance to be featured in a future broadcast. Champion, it's how you play. The Pride of West Virginia. They're here at the field about 5:30 on Saturday mornings. So they put in a good long day on game day. Josh Bellamy, Eli Rogers now both on the field as Teddy Bridgewater dumps it off to Victor Anderson. He's up close, shy of the first down, but close after picking up 11.
Looks like Louisville's going to come up about a yard short. Their offensive line wants them to go for it. I don't know if they're going to do that or not. Be a tough situation if you don't get it. You give West Virginia a short field. I think they're going to punt this one away.
You know, John, some of those offensive linemen, they were adamant too. They were looking at the sidelines and they were waving their arms. Let's go, let's go. But Charlie Strong says, no thank you, guys. Not against this offense with 3:35 to go in the half.
Prior to the snap, delay game. Offense, number 12. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Well, Chris Philpott, the punter, we didn't see him punt last week, John. Josh Blazer, they're probably setting up a fake punt.
They definitely were setting up a fake punt, and that was their first penalty on the afternoon for the Cardinals, and it came at a time where Charlie Strong was going to roll the dice and see if he could get his offense back onto the field by converting on 4th down.
B.J. Butler had his hands on the football, defensive player, good size. Now they'll punt it away. Philpott. Relatively short kick, and Austin with another fair catch at the 32. 34-yard punt for Chris Philpott. And next Saturday on the Big East Network Game of the Week, Tino Sunseri and the Pitt Panthers head for Louisville, take on Teddy Bridgewater and these Cardinals. The action starts at noon Eastern. Check your local listings.
Tino coming off a career-high 419 yards passing, and we've seen Louisville over the last couple of weeks, and they keep improving. So it's a situation now where they're down 7 with Geno Smith in control of the Mountaineer offense.
Smith eludes the rush, buys some time, and it's knocked down. And speaking of the games at Louisville, met an interesting guy, David Vish, last week. He emailed us an invitation. They're having a big bonfire in Louisville. They're watching the game. Bonfire started at 11:45 a.m. I thought usually bonfires was invitation only, and Mr. Vish said they're going to burn a lot of things there. So,
Sounds like a lot of fun.
I think he was insinuating they were going to bring a couple of couches to burn, but I'm sure West Virginia fans wouldn't appreciate that.
See what the outcome of this one is first.
Smith. Starks, we saw the 61-yard return for Starks to open the game, and Starks picks up a first down. Andrew Johnson makes the tackle. Starks picks up 11. So Starks came in with 13 receptions, but that's the problem. Coach Holgerson said he's always been banged up. You can see the look on Dana Holgerson's face, too. He says, I'll put him in the game, he'll score a touchdown, and then he'll come back.
Well, he's been productive on special teams. He's productive here, moving the chains for the Mountaineers, but it looks like that lower leg tackle by Andrew Johnson, the freshman out of Miami, Florida, and you can see the expression and the reaction from the head coach. You just can't figure out Brad Starks and getting him healthy, getting him on the right page, and keeping him on the field for the Mountaineers.
He had 5 for 45 catching the football last week in the snow, 128 all-purpose yards against Rutgers, but his point being he had 13 receptions coming in, 4 have gone for touchdowns. And early we talked in the broadcast that back in August he wasn't even part of the equation. He said he's getting pretty good riding that bike over there, which of course injured players ride the bike on the sidelines, a stationary bike. But Starks down with an injury again.
And it's no fun being not only injured but in the doghouse. And when you get your opportunities and you make the most of them, I guess that's the attitude that Dana Holgerson and this entire coaching staff has right now. When you look at Brad Starks, he makes a nice catch underneath. He tries to plant and get north and south. Really can't see if that right leg was just buckled underneath him on the tackle or not. But he's very ginger coming to the sidelines.
So Dana Holgerson will put him on the sidelines until he needs another big play or a touchdown. Then he'll go to number 2 and say, get back out there, we need a touchdown. But Geno Smith now just 3 completions shy of 500 in his career.
Wow.
And he's only a junior. Keep in mind, he's got 2 touchdown passes, 47 for his career. The record, it's 59, set by Mark Bulger. But Smith still with a season to go. Dustin Garrison, the freshman out of Texas, gets the call up over the 45, picks up 2. Just 2:45 to go here in the first half.
Well, now you have to wonder, if you're the Mountaineers, when's the next time you're going to get that big play opportunity? When is Louisville going to bring the pressure again that we can take advantage of? Because right now they're in 2 safeties high, playing a heavy zone coverage here.
Cardinals giving up 16 on the year, giving up 21 here in the first half. McCartney tries to spin away, but he's dropped just over the line of scrimmage. They pick up 1. Hakeem Smith making the tackle. We're inside the Milan Puskar Stadium in Morgantown, West Virginia, along with John Conjemi, Eamon McEnany. I'm Mike Gleason. We welcome you. We appreciate you tuning in to a pretty good football game here on the Big East Network Game of the Week. 21-14. Mountaineers fell behind 14-7 at one juncture. Smith goes up top looking for Ivan McCartney. He runs out of real estate just shy of the 30.
Mike, there's a constant chess match going on between head coach and play caller and Dana Holgerson and defensive coordinator Vance Bedford. It's a challenge because Vance wants to pressure, but he can't do it too much because Dana's got too many playmakers on the outside. So you have to pick and choose your spots. And you can see Dana's disgusted about coming off the field on that 3rd down situation. And Vance has to feel happy about getting his punt return unit on the field.
3rd punt, and this one's partially blocked. It's either blocked or right off the side of the foot of Mike Molinari.
And that may be the last one Mike gets an opportunity to kick today, because you thought Dana was mad after the 3rd down incompletion. It's not going to be very good on the sidelines right now.
Well, coming up on the Big East Network Halftime Report, Conjemi's Corner with West Virginia head coach Dana Holgerson. You want to stick around to hear what the head coach has to say. We'll have our Big East breakdown as Geno Smith Fires one of his 20 touchdown passes coming in. He's up to 22 now. And of course, we'll have the first half highlights and the stats. All coming up on the Big East Network halftime report. That was an 11-yard punt for Molinari. Bridgewater comes back. And he completes the ball. They're all the way down to the 30-yard line. Devontae Parker, the freshman, makes his first catch. And it goes for 25.
Big, strong, athletic. That's how the coaching staff describes Devontae Parker. 6'2", 180 pounds, right from Louisville, Kentucky. And I believe that was the first play of the game. Went to a different receiver, but they're going back and trying to repeat plays that worked earlier.
Bridgewater held on to it to the last millisecond. They find Michael Lee Harris now, the redshirt freshman out of Miami, and he's still on his feet. He wrestled out of bounds.
Plenty of time before halftime, a minute 13 and counting for the Louisville Cardinals, who want to try to tie this football game up. Remember, they've got great size on the outside with Andrell Smith and Michael Lee Harris and Parker.
60 seconds to go. Bridgewater fires, and that's Eli Rogers, another freshman, down inside the 15-yard line with 55 seconds left.
2 timeouts remaining for Louisville. Under a minute now. Teddy Bridgewater showing poise, showing his leadership in this drive.
First down. They can pick up another first down. Bridgewater. Goes where that line of scrimmage is and finally gets rid of it as Terrence Garvin put on the pressure. Let's take a look now at Louisville and how they're doing in the red zone, brought to you by Verizon Wireless.
12 of 17 for the Louisville Cardinals, but they're 8th in the Big East Conference in the red zone. Only 8 touchdowns. That's the fewest in the Big East Conference, and they desperately would love to come away with a touchdown here and tie this football game up before halftime. You can see the experience on Teddy Bridgewater. That was his first incompletion of the football game, and that was a pure throwaway.
Louisville, should be a 30-second timeout.
First incompleted ball, as you mentioned, with 36 seconds to go. So he's 10 for 11 here in the first half. And you know why all these coaches around the Big East are really impressed with his poise.
Well, you know what? He doesn't repeat a mistake, and he's a guy that's a fast learner. And that's what Sean Watson said when we talked to him during the week and even last week preparing for Syracuse. This is a guy that takes baby steps, and then he takes a great leap. And he'll do that week in and week out. And he's got a former quarterback in Justin Burke who he's talking to on the sidelines with the headset, and he has great coaching behind him, so he's making great leaps and bounds. But he's got all that proof in the pudding with guys on the sidelines, guys that have gotten it done. And 10 of 11 for 136. Geno Smith on the other side, he's going to make the bigger plays. 16 of 23 for 193 and 2 touchdowns. But Teddy is doing a great job of showing poise for a young quarterback, because he extends plays with his athleticism, but he doesn't make that same mistake week in and week out.
West Virginia with 237 total yards. Cardinals not far behind with 207 now. Victor Anderson in the backfield with Bridgewater. Holds it, flips it over to Victor Anderson. He's inside the 5-yard line. Wow, gutsy play, dangerous play, but he completes it nonetheless.
That might have been with his left hand. He may have switched the football from his right hand to his left hand and just flipped that out. And now you've got 20 seconds and counting for Louisville.
Bridgewater fires, and there's a touchdown. Boy, he bought his time, and Eli Rogers pulls it in. And for the true freshman out of Miami, that's his first touchdown reception as a Louisville Cardinal. Goes 4.
Cool, calm, and collected. That's Teddy Bridgewater on that drive. He didn't look like a freshman there. He had the patience to extend the play. We were talking about his athleticism. He didn't like what he saw to the short side of the field. There's the flip with his left hand on the prior play before the touchdown that sets up the touchdown and the extra point that just sneaks in the left upright.
So Teddy Bridgewater, 2-3 as a starter. He ties it up at 21.
Mike, this is his athleticism, extending the play. He's not going to threaten you with the run, but he has to make the defense come up and affect the run. And that's a situation that's a great two-way go for a quarterback. When you get on the edge the defense has to respect you're going to tuck it and run. But what Teddy does, he keeps his eyes down the field, and it equals 6 plays, 56 yards, and 134 off the clock. But more importantly, it ties the score at 21.
56 yards all set up because of that 11-yard punt by Mike Molinari.
That's very true, Mike, and it's a situation where Louisville capitalized on great field position, and now you see head coach and defensive coordinator talking about what they want to do to stop the Mountaineers in the second half.
Well, Dana Holgorsen was telling everybody in Morgantown, anyone that would listen, said, hey, this team is 4-4 with this Louisville. They're getting better. They're young. They're only going to continue to get better, and they're a good football team.
And there's that conversation on how we can slow down Geno Smith in this offense. Vance Bedford, the defensive coordinator on the right, and head coach Charlie Strong trying to figure it out.
Austin inside the 5-yard line, waiting for his wedge to open up, and he found one. He just kind of weaves his way through traffic up over the 40, dropped at about the 41, but that's going to run out the clock as Calvin Pryor makes a stop on the kickoff coverage team. So Charlie Strong going on the road, and they're all knotted up 21-21 with West Virginia. Let's go downstairs and check in with Eamon McEnany.
Coach, your quarterback's growing up play by play. What impressed you the most about that last drive?
Well, our offense is moving the ball and getting us points. Just defensively, we have a lot of problems right now. We got to fix them. We don't have much time here to fix them right now.
All right, well, let me take up some of your time, though. What's the biggest adjustment you're going to have to make defensively?
Well, we're just not covering the receivers and giving the quarterback too much time. We're not getting a rush.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot for your time. Mike?
Getting some production offensively. That's something he did not say early in the season.
No, and it's a situation where this Cardinals offense, they're only averaging 17.6 points per game, and now they're at 21, and they're in a football game with a very good Mountaineer team right here at home.
Mike Molinari, the redshirt freshman, averaging 41, gets off an 11-yard punt, and that sets up the tying touchdown. Teddy Bridgewater to Eli Rogers. We're tied at 21. A PNC, a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Morgantown, West Virginia. Geno Smith with a couple of scoring strikes in the first half. It's tied at 21, so Geno will try to do something about that. Let's check in with Eamon, who's standing by with Dana Holgorsen.
Yeah, play 4 quarters. Same message I told him in the beginning of the game. I mean, Louisville's a good opponent. We got to make sure that we play 4 quarters if we want to win this game.
21 points. How do you assess the performance of your offense?
Yeah, okay. We'd go out there and we'd either score with 3 and out and punt, which we got to fix the punt team, and then we got to stop them on defense.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time. Mike?
All right, thank you, Eamon. So West Virginia, they won the toss before the game. They took the ball, so now we're going to see that Louisville offense first.
Yeah, an opportunity for the young quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater. I don't even know if I can call him young anymore. He's a freshman, but he's playing like a junior or a senior. He had such a nice and effective first half, 12 of 13 for 149, 1 touchdown. But the problem, he was sacked 3 times, and 2 of those coming from Bruce Irvin. So the Louisville offense, Mike, they're going to have to try to run the football and manage themselves and not get in 3rd and long.
Corey Smith with the kick. It's a low line drive kick taken at the 12-yard line. Adrian Bouchel returning a kick. Boy, they're really mixing things up. Going deep into the stable of running backs, both teams, and now Adrian Bouchel returning kicks. He does so for 21 yards, and here comes Teddy Bridgewater again.
We talked about his numbers, and it'll be important for Teddy as we see 1 touchdown on 149 yards of passing. It'll be important to get that running game going. Whether it's Brown or Anderson or Perry or Wright, they have to find a way to stay in manageable situations. Don't get behind the chains. The only time this Louisville offense has been stopped in the first half is when they go in 2nd and 12 or 3rd and 13. They got to stay out of those situations.
You see the play selection for the Louisville Cardinals. 149 through the air. Good balance there, 15 and 13, 15 rushes. Dominique Brown in the backfield with Bridgewater. This is Brown up over the 35, stopped at about the 38-yard line. Bruce Irvin making the stop, a 6-yard gain. So there you go. It's 2nd and 4.
Well, that's how you do it. You have to win on the offensive line, and this group has done a fairly decent job of getting after it in the first half, but it makes it so much easier on Teddy if he can just run the football or get positive yards on 1st down.
Under center this time with Dominique Brown in the backfield. Bridgewater fires, and this one's going to be picked off. Najee Good. Inside the 5-yard line. He wanted a pick six in the worst way. He gets close, but now West Virginia knocking on the door. 45-yard return.
Mike, and this is not the first time that this West Virginia defense has been able to do this. A couple weeks ago against UConn, it was Javon Snow that took a fumble recovery, 83 yards coming out after halftime. Now it's Najee Good who gets inside the 5-yard line on a tip pass. So credit this Mountaineer defense. That's the second time that they've been able to affect the start of the second half.
Block in the back on the intercepting team. The spot of the foul. First down.
Wow. So West Virginia will have the football, but they won't be inside the 5-yard line, as I said. That intended receiver was Josh Chichester. He goes 6'8", but he just threw it a little bit high, or as you said, it might have been just deflected too. So Bridgewater, it's his 7th INT to go with the 8 touchdowns this year. So instead of inside the 5-yard line, John Conchemi, they're way back at the 40. The freshman Dustin Garrison in the backfield with Geno Smith. Garrison, nice haul on the left side, inside the 35, down to the 32. Preston Brown, number 2, wrestles him down. This is good on the interception. There's the block in the back right there, we assume.
Yeah, it looked like it was on Teddy Bridgewater trying to make a play after he threw the interception.
Might have did him a favor. I mean, Bridgewater, the quarterback, trying to tackle Najee Good. Might have banged up his shoulder or something. Down to the 30-yard line. Again, it's Garrison. Garrison, we mentioned earlier in the show, 291 yards against Bowling Green. Yet to crack 100 since then. Alston getting 110 last week. That was the first 100-yard rushing game since Garrison went for 291. Alston and Ryan Clark now in the backfield. Alston gets the call, picks up 2.
And Mike, that's great yards after first contact, because Alston was hit squarely in the backfield for no gain. Might have been a minus of 1 or 2, but that power was able to propel him for the first down. Dexter Heyman was the first guy there for the Cardinals defense.
Here comes Austin. Remember, he went for 80 last week in the snow. Here he gets down close to the 15-yard line before Hakeem Smith pushes him out. So Tavon Austin picks up 11 more.
There's so many worries when you take a look at this Mountaineer offense. You worry about getting vertical and getting beat over the top, but Tavon Austin's done a nice job today of catching those tosses on the ends around and stretching the Louisville offense from sideline to sideline. And now they put you in a situation when they can beat you vertically.
Smith looks, fires. Oh, Stedman Bailey had it and he dropped it. That's a second drop for Bailey. You know, Bailey made that catch last week against Rutgers, which is one of the better catches I've seen all season.
And he's made one over the middle. That was the toughest of the bunch. I think Stedman Bailey thought this was going to be an interception. I don't think that ball he felt was even going to get over the defender from Louisville. It goes through Hakeem Smith's hands right into the belly of Stedman Bailey, and he just couldn't come up with it.
The catch I referred to is against Rutgers in the end zone for a touchdown. He actually tipped it to himself while falling backwards.
Charge timeout. West Virginia. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Mountaineers using up the timeout. They have 2 remaining here with 12:06 to go in the third quarter. So Dana Holgerson on his 2nd and 10, and they want to make sure they cash in with a touchdown and they don't settle for a field goal here.
Yeah, you'd like to. After changing the momentum and getting that interception, the penalty kicks them back outside the 35-yard line, but now they're in a situation where they're back inside the red zone at the 18, and the Mountaineers want to come up with some points.
Tied at 21. College basketball fans, make your way to New York City on Tuesday, November 15th for the inaugural State Farm Champions Classic. This exclusive event featuring number 6 Duke, Michigan State, game 1, number 2 Kentucky against number 13 Kansas in game 2. Wow, that's quite the lineup, all at Madison Square Garden. Tickets are going fast. Go to championsclassic.com today.
The newly renovated Garden, so that'll be a situation where you get some high-profile universities playing some big-time college basketball.
That is big-time college basketball there. Geno Smith. He fires, looking for Tyler Urban. And nice job by Heyman, middle linebacker Dexter Heyman. The last week we saw him leave the field. Late in the game, he was dinged up a little bit, and Vance Bedford said he's the one guy on defense we can ill afford to lose.
He's got great size at 6'3", 240 pounds. I got to spend some time with him last week in Kangemi's corner, and he's the quarterback of that defense. He gets everybody lined up along with Preston Brown. Those are 2 playmakers at the linebacker position.
6 of 9 on third down conversions this afternoon. It's a 3rd and 10.
False start.
Well, let's make that
Number
a 3rd and 15.
5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Tyler Rader, the 5th-year senior from Cross Lanes, West Virginia.
And there's another one of those negative plays, and see if Vance Bedford, the defensive coordinator for the Cardinals, elects to pressure or play zone on 3rd and long.
Well, Geno Smith, plenty of time. He's going to take off. Inside the 15-yard line, great balance. Stumbles down to about the 12. Had to get down to about the 8-yard line for the first down, but he picks up 7. I said they don't want to settle for a field goal, but they're going to have to. So they'll lean on Tyler Bittenkurt, who's 12 of 13, kicking the field goals this year.
Geno Smith's going to elude pressure, but he had all day. But what I want you to watch is sometimes you lose guys, and right in the corner of the end zone up at the top, there's a Mountaineer that was wide open. It looked like Tyler Urban, but Geno never saw him because he had already elected to put that ball under his right arm.
Bittenkurt from 32. He missed it. So now 12 of 14. And not only do they not settle for a field goal, they don't get anything.
And that's disappointing for Mountaineer fans, and especially if you're wearing the gold and blue on the sidelines, because you get instant field position, you get momentum after the interception, and you don't make the Louisville Cardinals pay. And you have to give credit for Louisville and their defense. They didn't give up 7. They just had an opportunity for 3, but they come away still tied in this game, Mike.
Mike Molinari with an 11-yard punt in the first half, and now Tyler Bittenkurt, who was 12 of 13, he misses from 32. Gorgeous blue skies here in Morgantown. Vance Bedford last year held West Virginia under 300 yards. That's not going to happen here today, John, but a big break there for Louisville.
Huge defensive stand by Vance Bedford and his squad to come out and keep the Mountaineers off the scoreboard.
Victor Anderson, left side, nice hole, and Victor Anderson's up to the 35-yard line. Pat Miller pushes him out. Let's go back downstairs and check in with Eamon.
Well, Mike, the deep backfield for the Louisville offense is just taking a hit as Jeremy Wright looks to be out for the day with a right ankle injury. He was icing it. He has his cleat back on now, but the training staff tells me very doubtful for the return of this one. They're hoping to have him back on the field next week against Pitt.
Thanks, Eamon. Charlie Strong saying that Jeremy Wright was nursing an ankle all week long, so I'm actually surprised we saw him as much as we did in the first half.
You're right, and Jeremy Wright's one of those guys that's explosive. Now the load goes to Victor Anderson and Dominic Brown.
Bridgewater chased out of bounds just over the 35-yard line. Got back to the line of scrimmage. Najee Good runs him out. Good, of course, had him inside the 5 after the INT. There's Jeremy Wright. He had the first 100-yard game of his career a couple of weeks ago against Rutgers. And Victor Anderson was 7 yards shy of another 100-yard game last week against Syracuse. And as John, you pointed out early in the game, they were running the football very well here against West Virginia. Dominique Brown, and he's wrestled down behind the line of scrimmage. Julian Miller making the stop. Loss of 2.
And this is what happens, Mike, when you don't win on first down, you get a negative play on second down. Now Teddy Bridgewater and this offensive unit are going to face more pressure off the edge from Bruce Irvin. In 3rd and long situations, he has 2 sacks on the afternoon. It's 3rd and 12. You don't want to turn the football over on 3rd down. Teddy's been efficient on 3rd down, 2 of 2 for 15 yards and a touchdown. So you don't want to turn the football over on this type of situation like they did last series.
Bridgewater. Boy, he felt the pressure. He turned and found Michael E. Harris, and Harris gets up over the 40-yard line. It's not going to be enough for a first down. Terrence Garver makes the stop. They pick up 9. But again, there's some of that poise from that young quarterback.
A lot of time to set up that screen to the wide side of the football field. And the Cardinals do a good job of just getting positive yards on 3rd and long. Teddy's going to look right to the short side. He had it set up, but there's the pressure again from Bruce Irvin coming from that short side. He's going to be there in this second half, it looks like, constantly for the Mountaineers.
Austin, back at the 18, awaits the punt from Philpott. High. Another fair catch. Austin backs up, and it takes a Cardinal bounce inside the 20. And it's going to be down just inside the 15-yard line. A 42-yard punt by Chris Philpott that time. We're going to take a timeout here. 8:44 to go. We're still deadlocked, 21-21.
Ain't nobody down here. You can't do it. Take a seat. Take a seat. Take a seat. Right here. If we say we're going to play for this is what it's all about. That's what we're going to play for.
We got to put on for him. He want to see us ball. He want to be out here with us, but he can't. So we got to come out and play 4 quarters. We got to come and play for him, man. They got to be so hard.
Well, they certainly played for him. That's Anthony Connor, who broke his neck against Rutgers, made an appearance in the locker room last week before the Syracuse game and made the trip here to West Virginia. And he's up in the booth watching his Cardinals.
It's an amazing, Anthony Connor comes back, and just to be there with his teammates, it means so much to this entire university.
Garrison, Bowie, and Alston in the backfield now with Geno Smith. This is Bowie. Lost the football. Cardinals have it at the 15. At least they say they do. We'll wait the call. Yes, they have it. So Charlie Strong's defense coming up with their 10th forced turnover this year, and it is a big one, giving them the ball at the 15-yard line.
Well, I know head coach Charlie Strong and Vance Bedford, the defensive coordinator, they talked about the adjustments. There's one right there. They put a hat on the football. Akeem Smith looked like he comes up from that strong safety position, puts his helmet right on the football, and now it's up for grabs. And now can the Mountaineer defense do what Louisville's defense did? Bow their backbone a little bit, keep the Cardinals off the scoreboard with instant field position.
That's the 19th time West Virginia's fumbled, only the 7th time they've lost the fumble. Victor Anderson, well, he's wrestled down. As soon as he touched the football, he had nowhere to go. Jared Barber, the freshman middle linebacker, coming in, a loss of 1. Jeff Castile, the defensive coordinator. Boy, we talk about Jawan Snow being a redshirt freshman. Now Barber, he's a true freshman. A lot of young players. You know, John, we talked about this so many times since I started working with you. What we love about the Big East, you never know who's going to win. Dana Holgerson saying that Greg Schiano last week before the game said, this is just like the NFL because you don't
That's
know.
right.
You just never know.
Right now, I would be looking for a tight end coming to the short side of the field if I were the Mountaineers.
Dominique Brown. That's number 11, Bruce Irvin. Big Bruce had a couple of sacks in the first half. Loss of 4 on that play.
Well, and I like the way Sean Watson's been calling this football game, but I don't like that call on 2nd and long because you'd want to keep the pressure on the Mountaineers. You try to run it on first down, you don't get anything. Put the hand of the football game. Put your trust in Teddy Bridgewater. You've done it all game. Let him try to do something on 2nd and manageable instead of now 3rd and 15 where you may put him in a bad situation.
3 of 7 converting that 3rd down here today. Bridgewater wants to buy some time or run it, and Najee Good coming up again to make a great defensive play.
Boy, credit this Mountaineer defense. They did exactly what the Louisville Cardinal defense did on that last defensive stand. They were able to keep the Mountaineers off the scoreboard after a sudden change type of situation. Teddy Bridgewater threw an interception. The Mountaineer offense couldn't score. Now you fumble the football offensively for the Mountaineers, and the Cardinals are settling for a field goal attempt.
Philpott from 39. And the lead. He's got it. So Chris Philpott with a 51 and a 52-yarder this year nails this one from 39. And the Louisville Cardinals back in front of the Mountaineers here in Morgantown. So Najee Good made the big defensive play to force it to 3, but right now it's a 3-point lead for the Cards. Today's recap brought to you by Groovehawk by GE. Charlie Strong sees his Cardinals take the lead, and look at this, John. They take the lead, but they lose 7 yards on the drive.
It's a situation where I think that if you're Charlie Strong, you're happy you have the lead now at 24-21, but I don't think a field goal is going to win this game. I don't think this score is going to hold up because of the way the Mountaineers can put points on the scoreboard. So you'd like to come away with an opportunity to get 7 on that drive.
Philpott. Austin at the 12. Tavon Austin all the way up over the 40, just shy of the 45-yard line. Finally brought down by Deion Rogers, but a 32-yard return. Let's take a look now at some potential finalists for our Capital One Cup Impact Performance of the Week. And there's the quarterback for West Virginia, Geno Smith, last week. 20 of 31, 218, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and some pretty adverse conditions.
Yes, it was miserable up in Piscataway, and he did an excellent job of protecting the football. That's the most important stat, the 0 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. Just a great job.
Log on to CapitalOneCup.com to vote for this week's Impact Performance. Smith, he's going down. Randy Salmon picks up his first sack, the second sack for the Cardinals here this afternoon. So they have 25 now. They had 4 last week against Syracuse.
Well, you can see after halftime with defensive coordinator Vance Bedford met with Charlie Strong. They talked about the changes they needed to make. That's one of the changes. Get more pressure on quarterback Geno Smith. They've already forced a turnover in the third quarter. Now they get a sack to back it up.
Smith fires, has his man up near the 50. That was Devin Brown, picks up 8. Now you look at West Virginia, they can make big plays according to Dana Holgorsen. What's the difference between maybe them and the Cowboys of Oklahoma State right now?
Well, I just think that the Cowboys got the offense a little bit quicker, and they had maybe the talent to install it a little bit quicker, and I think it's taken the Mountaineers a little bit longer to be efficient.
So efficiency, the operative word there for West
Yes,
Virginia. Huh?
efficiency, especially on third down.
Right over the middle. Nice. That's the 500th career completion, and it's going to go for a first down to Ryan Nealon. Nealon making a nice catch right at the marker, a gain of 7. So there's how West Virginia's head coach defines efficiency. Negative yardage plays, turnovers, third down conversions. Geno Smith going for Bailey. Nice catch, but out of bounds. Great job of holding on to the football, but he ran out of real estate. No, he dropped the football. I stand corrected. Adrian Bouchel in coverage.
Mike, another opportunity to get pressure and try to deal with the big time play over the top. Adrian Buechele did a great job of pressuring Stedman Bailey to the sidelines, but I don't think that ball could have been caught in the field of play anyway.
They're going to run this one. Set up nicely as Hakeem Smith comes up to make the tackle on Dustin Garrison. Picks up 7. You know, getting back to Stedman Bailey, he had 5 consecutive games of 100 yards or more receiving. Just 2 catches last week, but Dana Holgorsen said it might have been his best game as a receiver overall.
Blocking downfield, he did a great job last week.
Charge timeout, Louisville.
Against Rutgers.
So the Cardinals use up their first timeout here in the second half. So each team will have 2 remaining here with 4:18 to go in the third quarter. So let's take a look at our Ameriprise Financial Big East headlines. So once again, the invites have not been official according to John Marinato, but it seems like they're getting closer and closer to inviting Boise State, Navy, and Air Force for football only, SMU, Houston, and Central Florida for all sports. And of course, the big news as far as realignment, West Virginia saying they're going to play next year in the Big 12, so they sued the Big East, citing ineffective leadership, trying to get out of that 27-month exit clause. And the Big East came up with a countersuit suing West Virginia for a breach of contract, saying, nope, you're going to stay here till 2013, guys. You're not going anywhere.
Well, it's a situation where you know it's going to, invitations are going to be extended to other schools, and that will change the complex situation we are with a number of schools in the Big East Conference playing football and in for all sports.
18 of 28, 207 and a couple of touchdowns. 10 different receivers here today for Geno Smith. Well, there's some popping of the pads going on down there. Hakeem Smith coming up the first to hit him.
Hakeem Smith is playing a sensational defensive football game as the Mountaineers turn up the pressure and the tempo, going for it on 4th down. But the officials couldn't spot the football. That's going to hurt the Mountaineers. That may change the decision here.
They thought about going for it on 4th down in the first half. They had a 5-yard penalty, so they had to punt it away.
They didn't get it unless it's a second effort. I don't think they got it.
Heyman, Scruggs, both in on the initial contact, and well, the indication is it's going to be Louisville football, so you're right, they didn't get it.
Louisville has turned up the pressure on Dana Holgorsen in this offense, and that's a gamble that gives the ball to the Cardinals at the 36-yard line. Alston couldn't get his shoulders to go north and south with enough velocity to move the pile, and you can see the excitement from head coach Charlie Strong. That's something he lives for, 4th and short, and you can see the disappointment on the Mountaineers sideline.
Mountaineers have owned their opponents in the third quarter, outscoring them 103-37, but so far West Virginia scoreless here in the third, trailing by 3. They're swinging out to Victor Anderson. Hit by Najee Good and a host of West Virginia tacklers. A gain of 2. Forward progress will move this up. And it'll be 2nd and 8.
And now Louisville trying to turn up the heat and the pressure offensively, going no huddle, getting to the line of scrimmage on 2nd down.
Bridgewater over the middle. Chichester inside the 40. Dropped inside the 35-yard line. Josh Chichester, that's his first catch. His 22nd this year, and this one goes for 29.
He came into the game, Mike, averaging 13.4 per catch. This one is a big-time play, and he's a huge target over the middle at 6'8", 240 pounds. Chichester comes up with a big play on his first reception today.
20th straight game, he's caught at least 1 ball for Louisville. Not sure how Bridgewater got away from that rush. It's going to fall incomplete, but that beats a sack. Well, the Mountaineers were in that backfield. The intended receiver was Dominique Brown. Irvin was there, along with Jared Barber.
Little sweet feet by the freshman. That's a great job of eluding not only one player, but Bruce Irvin, who was coming in looking for his 3rd sack. You're worried about Teddy turning the football over in that situation.
2nd down. Bridgewater avoiding the rush Again, this time he just throws it away. Bruce Irvin was putting on the initial pressure coming from the top of your screen. Then as he rolled out, he saw another blue jersey. So Jeff Castile now, his defense. They gave up 31 against Rutgers in the first half, posted a shutout. So they could have folded their tents, but now it's going to be up to the defense and Geno Smith to pull this out.
Well, the Cardinals are third, 3 of 8 on third down. So it's a situation where now the crowd's back into it. You get Bruce Irvin, missed on first down, missed on second down. He doesn't miss too many times on consecutive plays. That's the guy you have to keep an eye on third down.
Bridgewater. Oh, he had his man. They're trying to set up that little screen of Michael Lee Harris, cutting back over the middle, and the ball just squirted through his hands.
Couldn't have been set up any better for Louisville on that third down. A lot of pressure from the field. They tried to throw the screen to the short side of the field to Michael Lee Harris. Just the ball wasn't very accurate on third down. A lot of little pressure in the pocket. But if you make that play, you may walk into the end zone for Louisville.
So Philpott with a 52-yard field goal, his career long. They're going to punt this one away instead of try the long field goal. Short kick. And it takes a West Virginia bounce. Going to go to bounds just shy of the 21-yard line. A 12-yard punt. So we've seen an 11-yard punt and now a 12-yard punt.
There's going to be another head coach that's not happy with his punter. That's going to be Charlie Strong on the Louisville sideline.
Let's take a look at our Good Hands play of the day, brought to you by Allstate. And we go back to the first quarter with Tavon Austin.
Just a great over-the-shoulder catch. It looked like that Willie Mays catch over the shoulder, just the basket. It's the Allstate Good Hands play of the day. That opened up the scoring at 7-0.
Austin's fourth touchdown reception this year. Leads the Big East with over 180 all-purpose yards. That's fourth best in the country. And now West Virginia with possession of the football again. Garrison up to about the 23. Greg Scruggs, who was questionable, but he's had some big defensive plays in this ball game. A gain of 2 for West Virginia.
Situation where Greg Scruggs comes in after taking the week off last week, battling injuries, but he's in there in the lineup and playing an important part in this second half.
Smith right down the middle. Bailey with the catch. Bailey over the 40, still on his feet. Wow, unbelievable. Stedman Bailey spins, lunges forward all the way down to the 30-yard line. Hakeem Smith, he thought he had him, and he spun away from him.
Just a great job of keeping his balance and his composure going downfield, as well as protecting the football. It goes for 46 yards. He only had 2 for 51 last week against Rutgers.
Geno Smith. The ball is loose. The penalty flag was dropped as the ball was snapped. Looks like it's going to be an offside. Looks like Greg Scruggs might have jumped. We'll have to await the call to see if there was any movement on the West Virginia side.
Offside. Defense, number 8.
So Greg Scruggs actually wearing number 6. So it goes against the Louisville Cardinals. Down to 1:11 to go in the third quarter. It's going to be an interesting fourth quarter here in Morgantown.
Geno changing the play at the line of scrimmage. He has man-to-man down at the bottom of the screen.
Geno fires right over the middle. This one's complete to Willie Millhouse. And the fifth-year senior has his second catch of the day. This one goes for 11, and 48 seconds to go. The Mountaineers are on the move.
Good job, just a quick slant. You get the clear out by Tyler Urban up the middle, and an accurate pass, a strike by Geno Smith.
.30 seconds to go. Smith goes up, some incidental contact up there in the end zone. fans wanted some bumping with Andrew Johnson, the freshman cornerback, against Ivan McCartney.
And Mike, I'm not so sure that ball was clearly over the head of McCartney. This one lands about 5 yards out of the field of play. It wouldn't have been caught anyway.
I think he tripped on the pylon. I think some of the West Virginia fans thought that Andrew Johnson was doing some pushing and shoving well beyond the 5 yards down the field, though.
He very well may have, but they didn't call it. You're right.
24 seconds to go.
I think you got to look for Bailey or Austin down here in this plus territory.
Garrison down near the 5-yard line. Calvin Pryor makes the stop. And just 11 seconds to go. And Gino's going to try to get one more play off before they end this third quarter.
Like to throw that fade route.
Last play of the third quarter. Here's a fade, and it falls incomplete. Intended receiver was Bailey, but Adrian Buechele in coverage. That last completed ball that Geno Smith had on this drive, he passed Pat White for second most passing yards in school history. Fourth quarter coming up. West Virginia's at home, and they trail by 3.
Well, it's been the story of defenses in this third quarter. They've done a nice job of turning the football over, but Louisville holding on to a 3-point lead. Can they hang in the fourth quarter?
Dana Holgerson, the offensive guru, showing some emotion on the sidelines, and Charlie Strong, the defensive mastermind, showing equal emotion on that Louisville sideline. So the Cardinals up by 3. West Virginia's going to have to settle for a field goal if they get it. Let's take a look at our game summary brought to you by Tradewinds Resort.
Louisville doing a nice job of controlling the tempo with their young quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater. 15 of 20 for 189 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Last week he had similar numbers, but Geno Smith, 2 touchdowns on 265 as West Virginia sets up the first play of the fourth quarter with this field goal opportunity.
Tyler Bittenkurt, he missed one from 32, came in 12 of 13 on the year to lead the Big East. This one from 23. It's blocked. Cardinals blocked it. Here they go. They're going the other way.
Looked like Andrew Johnson.
Unbelievable. Andrew Johnson, the true freshman from Miami, Florida.
Mike,
unbelievable. Was it Adrian
unbelievable.
Buechele that got the block?
It may have been number 21, the other corner. So it's a situation where Charlie Strong goes in at halftime. They had a remedy on defense. Special teams has been killing both teams, especially in the punting units. But right now they turn it around with a blocked field goal. It looked like Buechele gets the block and Andrew Johnson gets the scoop and score. And now Louisville trying to extend the lead from 3 to 10.
Another forced turnover by Charlie Strong's defense. Johnson goes 82 with the football for the touchdown. And instead of a 24-24 tie, if Philpott can convert here, it's going to be 31-21, 10-point lead with 14:48 to go. Right down the middle. Inside 15 minutes, we're in the fourth quarter. It's a 10-point lead for Charlie Strong on the road.
One thing, it quiets the crowd and extends the Cardinals' lead to 10. 21 off the left side, or right side as you're looking at it. That's who gets it, Buechele. And then the scoop and score on the other side. The cornerbacks turn into special teams aces. Charlie Strong loves it. He sees Andrew Johnson go 82 yards for the touchdown. This sidelines of the Cardinals, not only the coaching staff, but the sidelines getting into it because they now know they may be able to hold on just early into this fourth quarter, the way the defense has been playing. But you have to talk special teams. That's been the story. Both punters have been struggling punting the football, but now you get a scoop and score on a block by Johnson, and Louisville has that 10-point lead.
That's the first return block field goal for a touchdown since Brandon Heath did it against Memphis back in 2008 for the Louisville Cardinals. So now Geno Smith will be at the controls, but he started 11 of 13 for a $156, 2 touchdowns. Since then, 9 of 19 for 109 yards.
But the celebration penalty after the touchdown, the Cardinals now will kick off from the 15-yard line, and the return game for West Virginia has been stellar, so they should get excellent field position.
Short kick, Austin at the 16-yard line. Spins up to the 35. And it's a 19-yard return by Austin. Nick Hauser making the stop. So miscue starting to haunt West Virginia.
Well, the punting team, we talked about both sides struggling punting the football, but it's been miserable for Michael Molinari. He has not been able to do it. And then in the kicking game, Tyler Bittencourt misses a kick. They get a block, and then the 82-yard touchdown after the return by Andrew Johnson, and that makes Charlie Strong and that entire Louisville offense, defense, and special teams feel a lot better about themselves going into the fourth quarter.
Watching Andrew Johnson.
That's right. One on West Virginia. Penalties will offset. First down.
Offsetting penalties. But you talk about the miscues for the Mountaineers of West Virginia. 3 punts. They averaged 20.7 in the first half punting the football. 0 for 2 now with a miss from 32 and a blocked return for 82 yards and a touchdown. And watching Andrew Johnson run down the field, a true freshman, what's going through his mind? It was almost like, I can't believe this is
comes
happening.
back after getting beat on that fade route in the first half. He comes back with a huge play, and you can see the character of the young man out of Miami, Florida.
So down 10 in the fourth quarter. Geno Smith comes back and completes the ball up over the midfield stripe. Devin Brown picks up 16. That's his third catch. Adrian Bouchel defending for the Cards.
And Mike, this doesn't change West Virginia's offense one bit. They're still going to stay up tempo, and they're still going to do the things they've done through 3 quarters.
There's Garrison, nice running room. Pops through a hole on the right side. Inside the 40 down near the 35 as Adrian Bouchel drives him out of bounds. 12-yard gain that time for the Mountaineers.
So 2 big plays back-to-back, and now the Mountaineers, after getting excellent field position to start this drive, are inside the 40 at the 37-yard line of the Louisville Cardinals. 94 rushing yards for Louisville and 102 for the Mountaineers.
Smith fires. McCartney with the catch. Bouchel almost had his hand on it. A gain of 9. Top of the broadcast, we mentioned that Alabama and Louisville were the only 2 teams among the FBS schools not to allow any more than 25 points in a game. And right now, Mountaineers with 21. They come in averaging 39, but they're on the move.
Well, the way Bouchel just played that last play, I'd look for a double move on the bottom of your screen to try to get him biting on something. That's a
ball is
fumble.
loose. Now his arm was going forward, but the ball kind of popped out. Calvin Pryor jumps on it. Another true freshman.
Mike, I think the ball may have can't come out of Geno Smith's hand as he went to cock the football back to throw it. We're going to get another look, but that's another turnover right now for the Mountaineers. Let's see if this ball comes out as he raises his arm to throw it. Yeah, it comes out. That's a fumble. Geno never went forward with that pass or that attempt. There's good pressure on the pocket by Calvin Pryor, another freshman from Florida, Port St. Joe, Florida, and he gets on the football.
Second time Dana Holgerson's watched his quarterback cough up the football here this afternoon. So the Cardinals now with 13-19. They have the ball and the lead by 10. This is Victor Anderson. You know, with a team averaging 39 points, I know they only have 21. You got 13 minutes. You want to eat some clock, but you don't want to get too complacent here with West Virginia's offense.
No, you don't, because you know that they can score in a flash. They only need a couple possessions, and you don't want to turn the football over. So you'd like to control the football with your young quarterback, but at the same time, toe that line of still being aggressive to try to add to your lead.
Twin receivers to the bottom of your screen. Victor Anderson in the backfield with Teddy Bridgewater. Well, he can dance back there, can he? Throws it out of bounds. We'd like to recognize our friends at Allstate for their charitable contributions across the country. Since 2005, Allstate has donated more than $2.5 million through the Good Hands Field Goal Program to benefit University General Scholarship Funds.
And Mike, just to add to your comment, I like what Teddy Bridgewater does because he recognizes pressure. When he has pressure from the edge, he can step up and through. When he has pressure in the middle, he extends plays by retreating and then going out left or right to the sidelines. He does a good job of extending plays.
Bridgewater over the middle. Chichester with the second catch. On that point, as far as feeling pressure and recognizing it, last week he checked off at the line with an option play, and Victor Anderson went 61 for the touchdown. And Charlie Strong was saying that Sean Watson, the offensive coordinator, you could hear him yelling, "What's he doing? What's he calling? What's he doing?" Guy goes 61. Good call.
Take it easy, Coach. We got it under control down here. That's right.
Tavon Austin, he's the dangerous weapon. He's back at the 15-yard line. Josh Blazer punting now. We saw him punt for the entire Syracuse game.
And this is how they've tried to fake one earlier. I don't think they'll do it here, but this was the same formation they used.
Philpott had a 12-yard punt. Now Blazer in with the kick.
Oh, excellent job.
So now West Virginia facing the top defensive team in the Big East. Will have to start inside the 5-yard line. A 43-yard punt that time by Josh Blazer. And now the Mountaineers down 10, a long way from pay dirt. West Virginia down 10, 11:58 to go. They were down 10 last week at halftime against Rutgers. They posted a 20-0 second half shutout, but the offense has been sputtering here, as this graphic will indicate.
Yeah, they really have been. A fumble on the first drive of the second half. You get a blocked field goal, you go out on downs, another fumble, and you miss a chip shot. So it's a situation where the Mountaineers, now backed up inside their 5, have to mount something consistently here in the fourth quarter.
Gino comes out firing, and Urban has his first catch. He's all the way out over the 20-yard line, so they get some breathing room. Nice execution on the first play. A gain of 18.
You're still going to see that constant tempo, that pressure that West Virginia wants to spread you out and keep you on your toes defensively.
Smith, back-to-back completions. Stedman Bailey up over the 30-yard line. So just like that, the Mountaineers are up to the 31. 9 more on that play.
2 accurate throws by quarterback Geno Smith. He's having a spectacular afternoon. They're just down by 10, trying to tighten this deficit.
Alston. Right through the middle, nice hole. He's up near the 45. Calvin Pryor finally makes the stop.
First down, West Virginia.
So the junior from Hampton, Virginia picks up 12 and another first down for the Mountaineers.
Wow, you blink. Last you saw West Virginia inside the 5. Now they're closer to midfield, doing a great job on this drive. 401 total yards on the afternoon.
Geno Smith going upstairs. Boy, Stedman Bailey was open for a couple of seconds, but then it closed as Calvin Pryor came over from that safety spot.
It's one of those throws that Geno Smith would love to be a little bit more accurate, because it seemed like Stedman Bailey had a step to the outside. Just the ball brought him and drifted him in closer to Calvin Pryor, who makes a good play on the football.
Calvin Pryor, the freshman, went down. This is his 3rd straight start. He had 5 tackles and a couple of broken up passes and an INT in his first 2 starts. Another true freshman. This Louisville team playing a lot of freshmen. 7 true freshmen started the last couple of weeks.
And Mike, you don't want to lose anybody in the secondary. They've already been down in numbers. They moved Josh Bellamy over from the wide receiver position to back up at the cornerback, and just a good battle for the football in the air. And you can see Josh come down on the bottom of Stedman Bailey, and he's still down on the ground.
Yeah, you'd hope he just got the wind knocked out of him. They're trying to bend his knees. So Geno Smith, 24 of 36, over 300 now, 317 and a couple of touchdowns. But both those scoring strikes coming in the first half. Well, this week's Big East Scholar Athlete is brought to you by Dr. Pepper with 23 flavors. Dr. Pepper is always one of a kind. And the redshirt freshman Michael Molinari, a 3.45 GPA and majoring in exercise physiology. The redshirt kicker came in averaging about 41 yards a punt. He's had better days, but certainly getting it done in the classroom. So Pryor leaves the field. Garrison in the backfield with Geno Smith.
There's that double move, Mike.
McCartney this time. He has it. Ivan McCartney all the way down to the 10-yard line. Terrence Simeon making the stop finally. McCartney's been kind of quiet.
Ivan McCartney set this up last series on the short side of the field. Looked like the corners started to bite a little bit more against West Virginia. Adrian Buechele bit down, out, and up. He went for the down and out and didn't get back on the up part. Now Vance Bedford trying to get organized with the Mountaineers in the red zone.
They spot the ball on the 11. 46-yard pickup by McCartney. Garrison, the true freshman, inside the 10. 10 minutes to go. So Ivan McCartney had 6 for 131 the last time we saw him here against UConn.
Bottom of the screen, Mike, that double move, the out and the stutter, gets Buechele looking in the backfield, and that allows Ivan McCartney to get behind him for the big play.
So Geno Smith now up to 363 yards passing on the day. They're going to try to run it in. And down to the 8-yard line, it's Sean Alston. Pick up just one on the play as Adrian Buechele makes the play defensively for the Louisville Cardinals.
We saw last time the Mountaineers were down in this position. They tried to run the fade route. This time to the wide side of the field, a big cushion, not advantageous to throw it. Short side of the field, you get press coverage. Maybe better down here.
Big third down play. And instead they go for the touchdown. Alston kind of rode the wave in. I thought he was going to be down about the 3-yard line. He just kind of took the surf into the end zone.
Looked like he got on the back of one of his offensive linemen who was on the ground. A huge hole off the right side for Alston to take. And there he is right there, 55, Tyler Rader. He was on the ground. He actually got run into by his own running back, Sean Alston, but he's able to get into the end zone. 11 rushes for 45 yards on the afternoon for Alston. And now that lead that was just a couple of minutes ago, 10 points, is now only 3.
And we talked about Louisville doesn't want to get too complacent because West Virginia, with the offense they have, they just went 96 yards in 8 plays.
Yeah, only 2:57 off the clock. Sean Alston goes in, and the Mountaineers are back in this one.
In Morgantown, 31-28 now. 9:01 to go. McCartney with the big catch. Alston with his second 2-touchdown afternoon, and that was an impressive drive, John.
8 plays, 96 yards, only under 3 minutes off the clock. The 7-yard run by Alston, but it was set up with that double move on the outside by Ivan McCartney. Just did a nice job of going down and out. He made the cornerback bite and then gets behind him to set up the Alston touchdown run.
So the Mountaineers at home, they're going to make it interesting now. 9:01 to go. What will this Louisville offense do with the football? Smith with the kick. Victor Anderson inside the 5. Victor Anderson up over the 30. He's wrestled down by K.J. Myers. A 29-yard return, but a penalty flag has been dropped on the field.
During the return, holding. Return team number 36. 10-yard penalty. First down.
All right, John, let's take a look at today's Bud Light playbook.
We talked about that last drive by the Mountaineers. It was all set up by the down, out, and up by Ivan McCartney. McCartney's going to be down at the bottom of the screen. He's going to run a down, out, and up with a double move. Now watch the cornerback and watch, more importantly, the safety who never gets back to the deep third. It's a situation where you have a double move on the outside where Adrian Buechele is peeking into the backfield, but then down the field, there's no over-the-top help, and that allows McCartney to get inside the red zone for the big play, and that led to Sean Olsen's 8-yard run to move this 31-28 score in the fourth quarter. Now the Mountaineers have a little bit more momentum. The crowd's back into it, and they're asking their defense to get a 3-and-out so they can get their offense back onto the football field.
Alston, 45 yards, 2 touchdowns. Looks like they waved off the penalty right now. They waved off that penalty, and this stadium is alive right now. A steady roar from the West Virginia faithful. That's Eli Rogers on the receiving end of that Bridgewater pass.
Right now, the mindset of Louisville is, I don't know if I'd be on the line of scrimmage trying to be in a hurry. Yes, you want to stay aggressive, but the goal of this offense right now is to get 2 first downs. They need to get 2 first downs, get the ball closer to the 50-yard line or on the Mountaineers side of the 50-yard line, and take some time off the clock.
Dominique Brown, he has nowhere to go. Great surge once again. Good penetration by George Wright. Loss of 1.
Negative plays in the fourth quarter will kill you. And that time, Mario Benavides, the center, got beat at the point of attack by George Wright. So going backwards on second down, that allows Julian Miller and Wright and Bruce Irvin to come back into the football game to try to get some havoc in this Cardinals backfield.
See the plays by the half there. Look, 71-47. Third and 8, huge. Bridgewater. What a great job of finding time and the first down. Boy, Devontae Parker with his second big catch for the freshman. I thought he was going to take off running, John.
It's amazing. It's amazing what Teddy Bridgewater has done in this football game to extend plays, to elude first in the pocket, and then to have the composure to get the ball downfield, find somebody that's open, and then make a big play. That's also a great play by Devontae Parker, keeping his balance to get the first down, and now Louisville needs to take the air out of the football. They need to relax. They need one more first down. That's their goal in this drive.
That's it, just one?
Right now, and then I'll give you the rest of it later.
Running out of the I formation, this Dominique Brown tries the right side and picks up just a yard. Kyle Rose, a true freshman from Centerville, Ohio, making the stop. Jared Barber, another true freshman, number 33 in there as well.
Charlie Strong looking on. His defense did such an excellent job of changing the momentum in this second half. They figured it out defensively, and that allowed them to get a 10-point lead, but now the Mountaineers defense needs to come up with a stop.
Bridgewater just dumps it off to Brown. Brown spins and breaks the tackle. He's going to be shy, but very close. 7-yard pickup. Jared Barber missed the tackle at about the 50. And that clock keeps ticking away now. 6 minutes to go.
Last time Louisville was in this situation, they like to run the power play to the short side of the field. I know it would be a very, very call out on the edge by Sean Watson. But I guarantee if you play action that short side of the field, you may get somebody wide open down the field. They're 4 of 11 on third down are the Cardinals.
Well, it was 3rd and 8, and they picked up 12. Now on a 3rd and 1. And there's no offensive penetration up front as Darwin Cook, who had 11 tackles last week, came up from the secondary to make the stop. A loss of 1, so now it's 4th down with 5:20 to go.
Great job up front by the Mountaineers defense. Now Charlie Strong wants to talk about it.
Got to punt it, don't you?
You have to punt it, but I'm not so sure why they wouldn't let that run down all the way down to the maybe 1 or 2 seconds on that 25-second clock and then talk about it, because you probably wasted, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 seconds there where you could have taken it down under 5 minutes.
Then take a penalty?
Well, no, then call your
after
timeout.
the timeout, come out in the punt formation, take a penalty, and just
yeah, you never know,
keep
right?
that clock as much as they can. 31-28. We're in a great football game, regardless of who pulls out the W here. The winner goes to 3-1 in the Big East.
Jeff Castile on the other sideline getting his defense on 4th and short. It looks like Teddy Bridgewater's coming back on the football field.
Wow. They did this against Syracuse in the Dome last year on 4th down and pulled out the victory. Dominique Brown, the bigger back, the sophomore from Cincinnati, is on the field in the backfield. Both teams now with 1 timeout remaining, with 5:13 to go in the ball game. Let's take a look at our Liberty Mutual play of the game.
It really changed this 4th quarter. The momentum looked like the West Virginia was going to go out and score a field goal, and then Adrian Buechele came off the edge. That led to the scoop and score by Andrew Johnson. 82-yard return for a touchdown on the attempt. The attempted field goal by the Mountaineers. That got everybody excited on the sidelines. It was a big 10-point swing in the football game, and now on a 4th and very short with 5:13 left to go, Mike, the offense is on the field for Louisville.
33% on 4th down this year. Dominique Brown dots the I. Gets the call. I don't think, wow. He
That's
surged.
second effort.
Second effort by Dominique Brown. He didn't have it, and now they're going to move the chains. He goes 6'2", about 215 pounds, and I thought he was going down, and all of a sudden he just
he left his feet
forward.
Mike, he left his feet about 3 yards in the backfield, and he did it was a situation where it looked like initially he was going to be stopped, but he never hits the ground. Adrian Cook actually tackles him forward for the first down. He was carried by Mountaineers, it looked like, towards the first down. He clearly got it by at least a yard and a half. So now Charlie Strong, he rolled the dice last year in overtime in a situation like that. They didn't get the victory at home, but now this year with 5:08 and counting, it looks like they're going to continue this offensive drive and stay on the field.
Drive started back at the 34. This will be the 8th play of the drive, and clock is running with 5:03. Victor Anderson comes in the game now. This is Anderson. He's got some running room, tries to turn the corner, and he's driven out of bounds at about the 32 by Terrence Garvin. But Anderson picks up 9.
Well, Victor Anderson had been the workhorse in this second half, as well as Brown picking up that first down with Jeremy Wright. He was out of the football game with that ankle injury. But a lot of determination, a lot of guts shown by this Louisville team coming on the road, 4th and 1. You turn it over there on downs in West Virginia, you know is going to have enough time and enough firepower to score. So now you're trying to take more time off the clock. Anderson, 8 carries for 38 yards on the afternoon.
Anderson goes off. Dominique Brown back on the field. Gets the call. Lucky if he got back to the line of scrimmage. Looks like another loss on the play. Doug Rigg making the stop as West Virginia now desperate to get their hands on the football. So the Louisville Cardinals, we talked at the top of the show, taking baby steps, getting better and better each week, but still ranking very low, not only in the Big East offensively, but in the nation. This is 17.6. They're up to 31 points on the scoreboard. That's quite the jump from 17.6 to 31.
And that was the only way they're going to have a chance to win this game, was to score in the 30s.
Andrel Smith leads the team with 18 yards per catch. That's his first catch. So Pat Miller in coverage for West Virginia.
And Mike, this is the situation where Teddy Bridgewater's been able to extend plays. The key now for West Virginia, if they do decide to throw the football in any type of play action, is not let Teddy Bridgewater outside. Don't let him get outside the pocket. If they decide to move the pocket, you got to win the battle at the edge and keep Teddy Bridgewater under control.
Bridgewater dumps it over to Brown. Brown's got a lot of running room inside the 5 and all the way down to the 2-yard line with 3:03 to go.
Beautiful execution by this Louisville offense, and Dominique Brown, he was a quarterback, now turned running back. Just a simple screen, the inside screen. He has big bodies out in front of him. He makes a move inside the 5. Looked like he was going to score, but down to the 3-yard line. Now Louisville in the red zone trying to extend this lead with 2:45 left and counting to the end of this football game.
Brown picks up 21 on the play, stays on the field, dots the I behind Bridgewater. Brown gets the call. Doesn't get the touchdown, but the clock continues to run here with 2:26, 2:25, and that clock has to be driving Dana Holgerson crazy right now.
Well, the problem, they just can't get off the football field, Mike. And if you're Louisville now, you can't settle for 3 points because you're going to give West Virginia an opportunity to get the ball with minimal time left. You want 6 points here. They've been having great success running to the short side of the football field.
West Virginia, preseason pick to win the league, get that BCS berth. Dominique Brown again, and this time Dominique Brown's in for the touchdown. So the Louisville Cardinals showing some maturation here, going on the road, looking for their 3rd straight win, and they haven't had 3 in a row since back in 2006.
Unbelievable confidence shown in his football team to go for it on 4th and 1 with a young team on the road against West Virginia. Short side of the football field, give it to the power guy, squares his shoulders, and runs into the end zone with authority. That's the way they've played this entire game. And it's got to be shocking to the Mountaineer fans.
Philpott converts, and it's a 10-point lead again inside 2 minutes. Well, we wondered what Louisville was going to do with the ball. Here's what they did.
13 plays, 66 yards, 7:03 off the clock. The Louisville Cardinals in control.
Welcome back to the Big East Network Game of the Week presented by PNC. Just a $1.50 to go. 10-point lead for Louisville on the road.
Please change the timeout to West Virginia to 1 remaining timeout and a half. 1 remaining timeout.
Now for our AT&T All-America Player of the Week updates. You see Tommy Lee Lewis there from Northern Illinois. Crazy game Tuesday night. 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns in the first quarter in a 63-60 win over Toledo. Text vote to 55862 from your mobile phone to vote and for a chance at a trip to the national championship. Speaking of kickoff returns, #1 Tavon Austin leads the league in all-purpose yards, 4th in the country, and they could certainly use one here with a $1.50 to go.
Absolutely. West Virginia's dominated in plays and in total yards, but it's a situation not on the scoreboard. It didn't resonate. It didn't equal more points in this football game.
Austin's going to get on at the goal line. He's returned 2 for touchdowns in his career. Austin up over the 30, going to be shy of the 35-yard line with 1:42 to go. And he's run out by Sonoris Perry, the backup running back, and returns at 34. Here comes Geno Smith, but again, they're down 10.
1:42 left to go in this football game. Geno Smith, 25 of 38 for 363 and 2 touchdowns. So it's a situation where they have 1 timeout remaining. They have to go down and score and then try to get the football back on special teams.
Geno Smith fires. Nice reaching grab by #1 Tavon Austin. Picks up 7. 1:35 to go. So 7 seconds eclipse off the clock. Here's Anthony Connor, left the booth. He's down on the sidelines now with Louisville. The defensive back who provided so much inspiration last week by returning to the locker room. Austin again. That's a first down. He gets out of bounds. Surprised to see Anthony down on the sidelines right now, though.
Yeah, there better be a couple security guys, I know, around him to be able to get him out of the way. But such inspiration that this team has drawn from his injury.
Smith stepping up, plenty of time, and another completed. Bailey. It's going to be another first down. So the clock stops to move the change with a minute 24. Picks up 12.
West Virginia moving the football efficiently again. Geno Smith, 3 for 3 on this drive, being very accurate and taking not a lot of time off of this clock.
Smith again. Wow, what a catch. Bailey comes up with the football. Adrian Bouchel, I swear it went through his hands.
He may have been knocked out of bounds. I don't know if he went out of bounds on his own, but there's some hats on the sidelines. Let's take a look at this. If Bailey goes out, if he's pushed out or he goes out on his own, he may have stepped out. They're going to give him the catch.
Great concentration.
Awesome catch.
That's his second great catch. Goes 19. And Louisville, they better have a good hands team here on the onside kick if West Virginia gets in. Another completed ball. Inside the 20, that's Devin Brown. He's having a big game for West Virginia.
West Virginia saving that timeout, gets lined up quickly.
Inside a minute. Smith. He's going to take off. He's inside the 10. 5 dives. He missed the pylon. He's going to be just shy at about the 1.5-yard line. 46 seconds to go. Dexter Heyman pushes him out.
Great effort by Geno Smith. He doesn't turn up and run very often. I think there's some cramping going on the field. They may want to take another look at this upstairs.
That's Greg Scruggs.
They're going to take a look at this and see if this was fumbled inside the pylon or it went out of bounds at the 1-yard line, Mike. This is a great job by Geno Smith of eluding pressure and then deciding to run. Let's take a look at the end of this.
Well, if they go upstairs, Jack Kramer.
It's hard to tell if he loses control of the football before he gets to the goal line. Now, does he hit the pylon with the football? I don't see the pylon move, and I'm not so sure.
No, I think he was there, but I don't think
the pylon moved, but is it inside of the pylon? Does he get the football? That's a tough call. I think they're going to give him the ball inside the 1-yard line. I don't think it's going to be a touchdown. And West Virginia should retain possession of the football.
The reason I say that, they're looking for indisputable video evidence, and I think he was there. But again, it's so hard to tell because he did not hit the pylon.
It's very difficult to tell there because you're right, Mike. The ball never touches the pylon, and you don't have that shot down the line of seeing if the ball crossed. Now, does he retain possession of the football, and do they determine that the football went outside the pylon? That's the question I think the officials are looking at upstairs.
So Geno Smith diving right there. Geno Smith picked up his first rushing touchdown of his career last week at Rutgers. And boy, that is a tough call for Jack Kramer upstairs.
Yeah, the referee is right on there, right on the goal line outside. So they're going to take a look at the call. I think they're going to confirm the call on the
Ruling
field.
on the field stands first down.
46 seconds to go. First down now for Dana Holgorsen, but down 10. Geno Smith with his 5th 400-yard passing game of his career, but that means nothing to him right now, down by 10. They need to score, and they need the ball back on an onside kick.
And I don't think there's a Mountaineer fan in the stands that are sitting down. Everybody's on their feet waiting for the outcome of this game. First, you have to score a touchdown.
Smith fires. There's the touchdown, Stedman Bailey. 42 seconds to go. And this game's shaping up like it did back in 2005 when they had the triple overtime game, huh? When Louisville joined the Big East.
Mike, a terrific job by Geno Smith. He was accurate on the drive, 400 yards, 410 yards, and 3 touchdowns now on the afternoon, but an efficient drive to give them a chance.
Bittenkurt adds the 1 with the kick. 42.5 to go, 38-35. Just like that, 65 yards in 7 plays and 42 seconds. We're going to be back in Morgantown with the conclusion of this football game. That onside kick forthcoming for the Mountaineers after Bailey's touchdown reception. Down 42 seconds on the clock. Mountaineers down by 3. And look at this graphic here. The Mountaineers 73-2 when scoring 30-plus points. And the losses against Auburn in 09 and Louisville in 06. Wow.
It's amazing that they've been in a situation where they go down the field and score points, and this is it. This is the play that's going to determine the outcome of this football game. The onside kick, the hands team on the field for Louisville. West Virginia, part 1 of West Virginia's comeback complete. They score the touchdown, but can they convert on special teams? Something that's bogged them down has been the kicking game all afternoon.
Corey Smith with the onside kick. It travels, and is that Dominique Brown?
I think it was.
The catch? So Dominique Brown had that big 4th down play where he was stopped shy of the 1st down. He spun and picked up the 1st down to keep the drive alive, and now he comes up with the big, good hands play.
Mike, it takes a lot of courage on special teams to go up and give up your body on the hands team, because you know you've got 6 or 7 blue jerseys coming down. But that's just a great job of going up, protecting yourself, but more importantly, protecting the football. Now West Virginia with 1 timeout remaining and 41 seconds left to go.
Dominique Brown listed at 6'2". He looked like a 6'7" forward, pulling down the rebound on that jump. See Anthony Connor all smiles as the Louisville Cardinals, their first win in Morgantown since 1990. Clock stops with 38.9.
Timeout, West Virginia.
So Charlie Strong picked up a Friday night victory, 16-14 over Rutgers. Then he said, come on, guys, we got to pick up back-to-back wins. They dominated Syracuse a week ago. And now they come to Morgantown, and they pick up their first win since 1990.
You can see the excitement on the sidelines, and on the other side, Dana Holgorsen knows another day with a lot of yardage, a lot of points. But they didn't execute in the times they needed to, probably earlier in the football game, that may have determined the game. It didn't happen at the end, but in special teams and punting the football, getting one blocked and scoop and score 81 yards against them, it was a situation where not enough execution in the middle of this football game.
That's going to be the final play of the game, and Charlie Strong now with back-to-back victories. And Charlie Strong and his Louisville Cardinals will be home against Pittsburgh next week. They climbed to 5-4 and a 3-1 in the Big East race. In West Virginia, now 2-2, and they were picked to win it all in the Big East. Tough loss for Dana Holgorsen. Today's Polaris hardest working player of the game is the quarterback Teddy Bridgewater.
Well, Teddy Bridgewater did it all. 21 of 27, 246 yards. He had a touchdown and an interception. He hit 9 different receivers. He was calm, he was cool, he was confident in the pocket. And when he needed to extend plays, he was able to find receivers out on the edge to make plays. He's the Polaris hardest working player of the game.
(38-35), 3 straight wins for Louisville, and right now Eamon standing by with the head coach Charlie Strong. Eamon?
Coach, 3 straight wins, the 3rd of which on the road in Morgantown. What does this victory mean to you and your program?
Well, it means so much to our program right now. We needed to come into Morgantown to get this victory, and it's a statement game. If you look at it, we hadn't won here since 06, and it's so big that our kids came in and they prepared, and we wouldn't get it.
There are defining moments for teams and defining moments for coaches. Going forward on 4th and 1 with the lead when you could have punted to pin them back. What was the decision-making process there?
Well, their offense, they were moving the ball, and Geno was doing a good job of moving it, and I didn't think we could stop them. So I said, click to the defense. I said, I'm going for it, guys. So you guys get ready to play defense from midfield. They needed a field goal. They get a field goal in time, but we're on the road, so we have to, you know what? You just have to make that call.
John Kangemi says we can't call your quarterback young anymore. What impresses you the most about his development in his freshman year?
Oh, he just continues to get better and better, and our whole offense is getting better. We're able to run the football, and when you're able to run the ball, you're taking the pressure off the quarterback.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time. Good luck. We'll see you next week. Mike?
All right, thanks a lot, Eamon. And John Kangemi, look at West Virginia, favored to win the Big East this year. They have Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and South Florida before the season.
All right, so Louisville gets the big win over West Virginia, 38-30.